So this is like really stupid or whatever, but you're watching Miko's BLT videos, so have fun watching, I guess. Well done, Murder Girl. I knew I could count on you. Say, Pomni, why don't you come celebrate with us? No thanks. I think I'll pass. Wow, what's her problem? Hello, all you baldy nose hairs. This is Mikoy welcoming you back to the Balding Only podcast. I am joined by the least baldest person in the room.
Garen 2004. Because, yeah, I actually have a lot of hair.
Yeah, and people have been memeing the concept of bald people in Tor's room. I think bald people should be celebrated. Who knows? They might be more intelligent than you think.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not joking. Like, most of the bald people I know in real life, they are freaking smart. Anyway, last time we covered BLT Week 5 and we predicted Week 6. Now, let's move on now to Week 6 and we predict Week 7. Week 6 was kind of the most crucial week for a lot of teams, and a lot of players are, a lot of teams are placements and seedings are heavily dependent on what the seedings will take as we get into playoff contention. And there's a lot of things that happened, and we for the most part I think we've decided our playoff teams.
Well, not quite. The final slot is still up for grabs.
Yeah, but most of them are already done, and we're going to review these games one by one to see what had happened. So, let's do that now, shall we?
Yes.
First off, the Phantom Trout tying the Snowbell Stuffles. This was kind of a huge surprise because the Stuffles were actually leading for most of the week, and then the Phantom Trout decided, you know what? I'm gonna tie it up.
Yeah, they decided to stay undefeated.
Stay undefeated and never a loss. First off, SVOU. We got 3D beating Career ended. Now, this game was pretty interesting to say the least. Career got off to a pretty hard start at the beginning by predicting the Meowscarada's hard switch on on turn 8 by OKOing it with Kirim's Ice Beam and safely neutering.
Did you just say that's what gave Career a hard start?
No,
Isn't that a good start?
No, a hot start, not a hard start.
It's a hot start.
Yeah, pardon the wording. But yeah, he got off to a hot start, predicting the Meowscarada's hard switch on turn 8 by killing it with the Kirim and safely neutering the Garganackle with Landorus's Earth Power and Taunt Blaze, which was very nice. Enamorous then took charge using Specs and its speed. It was revealed later to be Choice Specs, and it was pretty fast because it was cleaning through both Zapdos and Kingambit with relative ease.
It was fast and hard hitting.
Yeah. Turn 25 saw a promising turn. This one was kind of a crucial turn because turn 25, we saw a promising Terra Steel Iron Valiant, tanking one Moonblast from Enamorous and Swords Dance boosting. You think, yeah, okay, this one should definitely, if Career ended, has a super effective move or something that can kill Enamorous, then he'd be good in position to win the game, right? However...
Oh, I highly doubted he had anything super effective. What would he have?
Well, let me tell you what he did have. He had Knockoff, which he used the very next turn, allowing Enamorous to live and kill it, throwing the game, and 3D picking up the win shortly after.
We don't know if he had anything better to use there.
I mean, see, close combat wouldn't have done anything. Like, Knockoff, I mean, the guy only had what? I want to see that Iron Valiant set. It was a promising Terra Steel, though. You think, he may have something that can kill Enamorous. That is not, maybe Terra Blast even, if you're ballsy. But, yeah, well.
Yeah, see, I was literally saying as we were watching the game that career ended could very well clean with Iron Valiant if it's a good set.
If it was a good set. But unfortunately, it had knockoff, which he used, I guess, as his best option at that point in time. So that's a real shame.
My guess is that its other moves were like knockoff and encore or something.
Then that probably would explain it. So yeah, I guess CC was the better option, but Iron
CC
Valiant
was not better. What are you talking about?
CC was not a better option. I guess knockoff was the better option, I guess, for attacking move, but still, it was promising, but then it kind of went to crap.
Yeah, because, like, if it had, Spirit Break, then there was no reason not to use it there.
Yep, especially when the rest of the team can easily get clean to Iron Valiant. So that was a shame. Alright, next up, the other SVOU game where we got TDNT beating Botsy. Damn it, I was wrong. What the hell?
I don't know why you thought Botsy to begin with. I thought it was pretty clear TDNT was the better player.
I thought Botsy was the better player, to be honest. He's been kind of on a roll.
Yeah, and I don't know why you thought that, to be honest.
Why? He's got a great record. Okay, 4-1.
And?
At that point, it was 4-1. TDNT might have the worst record, but okay. If you say TDNT's a better player, then I can't argue that. TDNT's always been a good player.
Didn't Botsy literally have, like, a lucky win over, like, at least one lucky win? And,
I don't remember.
TDNT has overall been playing better, I think.
Well, he proved his worth here by beating Botsy in this semi-clean game. First off, we got Botsy immediately losing his Terra to a body-pressing Zamazenta, earning TDNT quite the advantage at the start.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why he sacked it immediately.
Right? I thought...
Oh, wait. No, I get it. He was locked in. He outraged the previous turn.
Oh, that's right, he did. Which, he kind of wasted it, unfortunately. I feel like the Terra could have been saved a little bit for later in the game, but, yeah.
Yeah, but I guess, nothing on his team really switches in well to cure him.
Nah, not really, no. I guess.
So we figured it was a trade worth making because Kiram would be dead.
Yeah. Skeletorge then tried to stall out Landers' Earth Power attempts by healing itself off and actually managed to get a burn in at turn 16, which was nice. Then TDNT then outplayed with Cinderace against Skeletorge, first switching in to prevent the Will-O-Wisp, then court changing to remove hazards from his side of the field, then Terra firing to prevent Will-O-Wisp again, although it missed a lot of gunk shots. That sequence was very, very nice from TDNT. I was very, very happy that was the position that he had going against Skeletorge.
What else can I say? You already summarized the game.
Well, okay, I didn't summarize the ending yet, because the ending, we saw the Zamazenta being burned, but still managed to kill the Darkrai with relative ease, with Crunch. Then lost to
What?
Well, not relative ease, it was burned. It was just locked into Crunch. Then
I think you're kind of forgetting how the Darkrai actually got slowly whittled down over time.
Well,
why are you not including that?
Well, the rocks and the hazards really dampened it a little bit, but yeah, it was really the crunching.
Yeah, and how did it keep getting hazarded, huh?
It wasn't Boots. Then, it lost to Skeletor.
And why did it keep switching out when there was no need for it to? I think you're forgetting something here.
Well, okay, then why don't you explain why he couldn't have switched out and we couldn't have switched
Roar!
You're right, it was Roar. Okay.
Why was that so hard to mention?
Roar is not. Well, sometimes. Well, these sets are friggin' weird. Okay. Um. Then Zamazan.
No, that's not that uncommon. That's not that uncommon at all.
Well, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Anyway, lost to Skeledirge. Then gets sucker punched by King Gambit, winning the game for TDNT. So
that last turn was a bit of a 50-50.
It was, yes, and I know TDNT predicted the right play and ultimately won with the thing, the sucker punch. Very nice.
Yep.
Next.
There were 0 sucker punch mind games in this game because TDNT just straight up went for it first turn and it hit every time.
And that's which is very, very nice. Very nicely played by TDNT there. Next up, we got 7992 beating FC. I think the pick decided that 7992 would win, right?
I'm pretty sure the pick went with FC.
Oh, well, it joined us for an L, I guess. So 7992's Miraidon had decent setup at the beginning with the screens up and having the electric seed in electric terrain that was used to, and then it decided to set up with Calm Mind despite being burned. Tried to put in pressure early, but FC managed to stall out the Reflect by subbing with Ho-Oh before using Ting Lu to kill it with Earthquake. Which was nice. After Grimmsnarl set up against Kyogre and sacked after screens were up, Koraidon then went on the offensive, using Sub and Scale Shot and Swords Dance against Arceus Ground, and dispatched Ting Lu before succumbing to Judgment. That was later on. Then Necrozma struggled a lot against Arceus Ground, even with the boosted Photon Geyser, being Swords Dance and in Trick Room. Using Photon Geyser, was still unable to kill the Arceus Ground, who kept recover stalling. Managed to do so in turn 28, but then was outstalled by Ho-Oh Sub for the immediate sack. In the end, Terrifier Calyrex Ice came in clutch, surviving Terragos's Koraidon's low kick to Glacial Lance it and Miraidon for 7U992 to pick up a solid win. Any other thoughts?
Not really. Just Calyrex Ice Rider is goated.
Too goated. We've been seeing a lot of Calyrex Ice, especially from your players, so...
Hey, don't say that.
I mean, it's been a common thing. It's very noticeable, okay? Alright, next up. SVOUU, we got Let's Rumble Shall We, or Hellray, beating Rashay. Surprised? Even though we predicted for...
Not really.
Yeah, even though I predicted for Rashay, but, Hellray wasn't a surprise at all. Wasn't surprised because Hellray is known to be consistent at lower tiers, which he definitely proved here in this game. Rashay exerted all his hazards right at the beginning with Sandy Shocks, losing to the Poison set by Umbreon, the Toxic. Hellray's Slowking managed to kill Iron Crown through a crit Scald on turn 10 after tanking 2 boosted Tachyon Cutters, one of which was a crit. So that was really interesting. Excadrill then suffered a burn through the boosted Scald presented by Raikou, but lived just enough for Hellray to rapid spin at turn 14, rendering all of Rashay's Sandy Shock's hazard attempts completely pointless. Yeah, and very much continued the momentum there. Turn 18, we saw the Okidogi Terra Fairying to prevent Como-O from being a serious threat with its boosted Dragon Dances, poisoning it in the process with Poison Jab. Therefore sacking the Como-O there. And then Umbreon just kind of cleaned the end game, beating Greninja and Rashay's own Umbreon. Ogerpon, sorry. Winning the game for Hellray. Any other thoughts?
Not really.
Let's move on now to SVRU, where Just Franco beat the Arsenine. So, that Arcanine Omen that you mentioned last week, that was not meant to be, woman.
Well, yeah, I didn't think so.
It was not meant to be. Turn 8, we saw the Conkeldurr being flinched by the Oricorio's Air Slash attempt.
Which was very unfortunate.
I wonder what
In
he was
fact,
going...
that was probably one of the worst turns for Arsenine in the game because Oricorio didn't die.
Yeah, I wonder what it was going to click, honestly. What was Conkeldurr?
Facade, of course.
Facade, alright. Terra Fairy Gardevoir failed to kill Armarouge with Moonblast, living on 1 to die to its Psyshock.
Yeah, but that didn't matter because the Armarouge was unboosted. It was unboosted with speed, so it just kind of died to whatever else came in.
Yeah. Then Cobalion just kind of carried Franco for the rest of the game, tanking Flygon's Outrage to kill it. Then, after being paralyzed by Jirachi's Body Slam, as you saw there, set up Iron Defense and proceeded to body press the rest of Arceus' team. That Cobalion do be tanking, and it tanked well the close combat from Conkeldurr in order to kill it. Any other thoughts?
No.
Alright, let's move on now to SVNU, where Stories beat Ming. This team, but oh no, it wasn't the team. It wasn't the team that had problems. So just the choice of minds never really, showcased a lot in BLT as of now. Like, I've never seen a Cloyster at this point. I've never seen we do see a lot of Cloyster usage, but starting this week. Brute Bonnet as well. We've never seen prior to this.
Now that is indeed a bit of a rare mon to see.
Yeah, and it proved itself very well here. Because on turn 7, Ming tried to use a growth Brute Bonnet, which looked very threatening, until Muckalola shut it down using Poison Fang, avoiding the badly poisoned status via Lumberry, but getting poisoned regardless by Poison Touch.
Yeah, as Ming said, that was a fricked up turn.
And unfortunately so. Turn 17 saw Ming get back with Cloyster, Terra Ghosting and Terra Blasting Slowbro through an Oko crit, who then fell to Ditto in return. That was a nice crit. There was a nice Terra Blast crit on the Slowbro. And of course, Ditto came in on the already boosted Shell Smash turn. Then Gastrodon, at the end though, Gastrodon was very well preserved in the back, beating Lucario and Flygon on Ming's side, winning Stories that game. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, that is a bulky Gastrodon.
Yep.
Because at first, when watching the game, I was thinking, how did Stories win this? But then I see, it's a very bulky Gastrodon with Ice Beam. Yep. That's how.
Ice Beam do be carrying Gastrodon, very much used against Flygons. Alright, next up, SVPU. We got Sufi's beating Lost Memory. So I got another predict over right. So what happened in this game? Well, it seemed Lost Memories had control at the start, with Articuno's Galar's Psychic Noise chipping Milotic and setting up Calm Mind well, to an extent. However, it did drop to Meloetta's Shadow Ball, who then got critted to Thwacky's Grassy Glide. That was a nice crit there at turn 10. Minior then tried to play mind games with Skuntank by continuously shell smashing to outpredict the Sucker Punch. However, and this is a question to pose to you, Poker. Like, why the frick would this man switch into Sandslash-Alola to set up the spikes when he had?
Well, to avoid the Sucker Punch mind games, I guess.
And then knock off. There's the setting up of the spikes. And then, then only did Triple Axel once to die to the Rocky helmet. No, to Aftermath, sorry. Oh, no, Rocky helmet.
Wasn't that was Rocky helmet?
Yeah, Rocky helmet.
Aftermath only happens when you kill the scum tank.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Mudbray. No, Mudbray. Mudsdale, sorry. Mudsdale then took care of the two Unburdened Sweepers as it tanked Grafaia's knockoff despite being Terra Dark and knockoff. Still took 59 and got off the stamina boost to kill it with the body press. And then it took care of Hitmonlee, roaring it out to prevent the Swords Dance boosted something. And then killed the Minior after it tried setting up the Shell Smash. So Sufiz effectively took care of 3 sweepers with 1 Mon.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens when you have a bulky Mon with Roar.
Yes, and just like Zamazenta and OU, Mudsdale proved itself very useful in the lower tiers by that regard. Sufiz then took care of Thwacky with the body press, winning that game very, very handily. So
I gotta wonder why Terra Dark? I think I understand what it's for. The boosting of knockoff plus that way you can't get Prankster Encored.
Psychic Immunity as well,
I suppose, but I don't know. I think Terra Flying is just better because for offense reasons.
Acrobatics doing major damage with Terra Flying, as we've seen in past weeks.
Like, if that was a Terra Flying Grafai, Lost Memories may have just outright won.
I agree. Like, Mudsdale couldn't do anything. The rest of the Mons could easily die if it gets boosted, and it is boosted at that point, so yeah, he could have won with the Terra Flying Grafai. Alright, next up, SVLC. My heart sinks for this game because it's Bleehay versus Geoff 97. Wow. We wanted to hype up Geoff. We really did, but this game wasn't one of her better games, to be honest. This is kind of a Bleehay dominated game because he was in firm control for most of it, predicting G's switches very, very well, effectively knocking off multiple items on her team, Vullaby killing G's own Vullaby with Brave Bird, and Diglett beating Glamora and Marini, which caused Geo precious amounts of momentum. Final straw came with Geoff missing a high jump kick on turn 25, allowing Fungus to live off and heal off all of its HP before dying to Growlithe Hisui. Then Terrifier Voltorb just came in, got the final kill on Growlithe, winning the game for Bleehay.
I don't really understand why Guy didn't use Brave Bird at turn 10.
Yeah. Why did he try using knockoff even though, maybe it was just trying to predict the switch. Who knows?
Yeah, but I don't know. I think you just kind of go for it there, like Bleehay did.
And yeah, Bleehay making the right choice to sack his Vullaby to, at least get a kill. So that was unfortunate. Bleehay, of course, picking up another win. Next up, Aragon versus Akaru Kokyo. Oh man, this game. What can you even say? It was pretty even for the most part. First couple of turns went good on both sides of the field. Aragon double targeting the Ogerpon hard switch-in on turn 3 and killed it, giving himself quite the momentum early on. Having Ogerpon dead immediately worked wonders. Akaru started to have the leg up once the Trick Room was set, and Torkoal and Iron Hands were put in, the former just eruptioning the field, and the latter backing up for free kills. which it managed to do so against Aragon's Ninetales and Iron Hands. Aragon managed to come back with Chiyu and Tornadus combo, beating Akuru's own Chiyu and Farigiraf before losing to the aforementioned Torkoal and Iron Hands combo. Then Aragon just kind of won this game with Baxcalibur, who used Double Protect, got off a Double Protect to stall out the Trick Room, then Terra Fairy to tank the Iron Hands' close combat before beating it with Icicle Spear and Wild Charge Recoil. Any other thoughts?
Not really.
Good win by Aragon. Finally, finally some momentum for Aragon's side. After having
for a little bit, I was wondering how Aragon was gonna win, but that, once Excalibur was the only thing left in Trick Room, and there was a turn left, it already protected. I'm like, it needs a double protect.
And he got it
needs
off.
a double protect to actually still have a chance. He got it.
You got it. You got the double protect. And in the perfect time,
and I'm
too.
like, okay,
as Trick Room was running out.
Okay, now what's his Terra type?
It's Fairy. And it's Fairy as well, to just tank the Iron Hands.
Yeah, once I saw that Fairy Terra and Kill on Torkoal come out, I'm like, oh, that's how. Yeah, that's how we won this.
And yes, and Aragon finally, showing the world how good Aragon is. Alright, SV Monotype. Royal Reloaded versus Tenebricite. A very, very a strange game, to say the least. Water versus Fairy. 10's Primarina worked better than Royal's, as it was not paralyzed and outstalled it for the kill, with Draining Kiss and Psychic Noise to the immediate advantage. It never got off the it wasn't paralyzed for once, and it just kind of outstalled the Primarina. And Royal did get unfortunate having 2 consecutive turns of being paralyzed, but that's Mons for ya. Royal didn't do himself any favors, to be honest, in turns 17 and 18 by going for the Horn Leech on Ogerpon to the Klefki instead of Ivy Cudgel. If he went for the Ivy Cudgel, he could have prevented it from setting up more layers of spikes. Instead, trying to heal. Instead of,
That wasn't his goal, Mikoi.
What?
His goal was to wait out the reflect turns.
Okay. Why aren't then again? I guess healing off short term to only die to an Oko from Iron Valiant that the next turn, okay.
He didn't know that would Oko. I'm pretty sure that Iron Valiant is banded because that I don't think that usually kills.
Does it not? Interesting.
Or I don't know if it's banded, but that is definitely a max attack.
Adamant nature, probably.
No, because then it wouldn't outspeed.
Oh, that's right. No.
Oh wait, it's Life Orb. Never mind.
Oh,
Never mind. Its item is revealed. It is Life Orb, so it's probably max attack Life Orb.
Okay, fair enough. Rest of the game is Tenebricite basically having more mons to his advantage, while Royal really struggled with hazards. And Amorous dealing the final kill on Toxapex and Fluttermane and Fluttermane also beating Greninja at the end to win Tenebricite this game. So it was kind of expected. We knew ahead of time Tenebricite would be the better player, but the way that he went about in this game is pretty good. Anything else to say?
Not really.
Alright, let's move on now to the Lavender Laprases. Finally getting that win, getting the dub over the Lore Society with the most meme lineup team ever. Well, actually, no. That would be beaten by next week, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, finally, the Laprases finally got a win. Aren't you happy?
They won by memeing versus a team that was actively trying.
Well, yeah, the Lore Society definitely had a unlucky stretch here. First off, we got SVOU, Starreal versus Tear Acid. Starreal beating Tear Acid. Might I add?
You know, the one time we actually go high on tier, this happens.
Kind of backfired.
This is why we don't go high on tier. It never works out.
Kind of backfired. After some stally turns and lots of hazard stacking from both sides, Star finally made some headway by knocking off the leftovers from both Garganical and Corviknight, whereas a kill did not happen until turn 31, where Samurott got to Razor Shell Clefable to death. As Star managed to stack up his 3 layers of spikes in, Tyr then brought in his Zamazenta, who kept roaring most of the competition out, only managing to let Samurott die to poison. Star then managed to, rapid spin all his hazards away on turn 46, giving him a much more favorable position by the endgame. And in the end, Tyr's King Gambit couldn't even kill Great Tusk, which was unfortunate, leading to the kill and the Star win.
Yeah, Star played better here.
Yeah, last week wasn't, last week, yeah, I think last week or the week before he tried to be stall real again, which didn't ultimately work. This week, just,
Well, he's still stall real, but, he's facing stall, so, he had the better stall, I guess.
Yes, he did a much better stall real, way this week.
Also, I just want to say I think Tyr jinxed himself by literally reserving his win post and then deleting it.
Karma comes in many different shapes and forms. Next up was...
That's not karma, I literally just said he jinxed himself.
Oh, well, jinxing, and you get the point. Thiago Nunes versus Railgun did not happen, unfortunately, due to an act call, so we have the first act. We have the first, proper dead game. Well, not dead game, because Railgun won via calling act, but no game was played. This is the first time this has happened all tour. We have covered over 210 games, 211 games at this point, and yeah, finally we got a dead game. So I can rest easy, knowing we have one less game to review.
And I can eat earlier, knowing we have one less game to review.
Poet versus Ice Master in SVU verse. Poet tried a mono dragon team. Okay.
Well, you want a meme, Okay. And he memed.
He did meme. Dragapult then, Dragapult set up the screens coinciding with Miraidon's Electric Seed, Agility, Dragon Pulse, Parabolic Charge strat, which, is nice to see. However, Calyrex did manage to tank 2 of its attacks to set up Trick Room, and after screens were done, set itself up with Swords Dance, and beat Miraidon with Glacial Lance and High Horsepower. Then Isis Terra Ghosts Koraidon, then outsped and swept the rest of Poet's team, winning the game.
Look, I just want to say, Mono Dragon into, Arceus Fairy and Calyrex Ice Rider. That's not terribly good.
That's not a good idea. Never go outrage there.
And hell, Mono Dragon without Eternatus is kind of crazy.
Yeah. That's a bold choice to do without Eternatus.
But also, what was Tyr's deal in the chat?
I have no idea.
Why did this kid bring Dialga and Bolt?
Now
he's just bashing him for what he's doing. But bro, their team's out. He's memeing. Let him meme and shut up.
The chat was getting pretty toxic at that point, so I just
Also,
ignored it.
he called Pote a kid.
Do you realize how old Pote is?
I'm willing to bet $20 he is older. I'm willing to bet $20 that Pote is older than Tyr by several years.
I'm also willing to bet that. We even had him as a guest Pokeyard last year, and you can definitely see the age there. I'm kidding.
Did we?
I don't know. I'm memeing at this point.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, we never did.
That's not memeing. That's just being wrong.
Wrong me. Let's move on. SVUU, we got Polo Ariosto beating TMM.
This was sad to watch at the end.
TMM got off
so close yet so far.
TMM got off to a great start, beating the Sandy Shocks and even dispatching the Terra Electric Comfey away by paralyzing with Slowking. And after multiple full paras, died to an earthquake from Hippowdon. Things changed on a dime very, very quickly on, though, in turn 21, where Greninja got off a Dark Pulse, flinching Jirachi as it died to its own Life Orb. Jirachi didn't do...
I'm gonna guess that Jirachi was, wish teched, because TMM really did not like the fact that it was flinched.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I'm
gonna guess he wished there.
He must have wished. It would be the correct play to do wish. This led to Ogerpon getting off a Swords Dance and beating the Terra Fairy Enamorous via Oko Power Whip. And Komao was preserved in the back, taunting Hippowdon as it set up Dragon Dance and Drain Punched it to death, as well as Slowking getting taunted to be Thunder Punched and Hoopa dying to a Drain Punch.
Yeah, the taunt Komao really just screwed things up for TMM, even though he was actually winning for most of the game.
Yeah, but starting
he got a little lucky against Comfey, but he was doing pretty well even other than that.
Yeah, but after the Jirachi turn, the one that basically got flinched, Como just was very preserved in the back, came in and sweeped.
Yeah.
Next up, SVRU, we got Sasha versus Ampha. Again, another running trend happening in this game again, where the losing side always manages to get off to a pretty good start. This time it was Sasha. Starting off well with the Okidogi activating the Toxic Chain to poison Espeon, rapid spinning away rocks with Cyclizar, and even dodging a Thunder Wave from said Espeon. Which was very interesting. Ampha kept missing a lot of moves in this game, which was very unfortunate. Missing a lot of Will-O-Wisps on his Ninetales, only finally managing to hit one on Sasha's Empoleon, which, yes, didn't matter. But the Thunder Wave miss definitely mattered, I think. And then, Sasha just claimed the game with Salamence taking out Ninetales and Venusaur, dying to the latter's poison, with Slitherwing dying to Sandstorm and Cyclizar taking out Scovillain to win the game. Any other thoughts?
Sun lost. That's my only thought.
Well, Ampha got a hella unlucky in this game, missing a lot of moves.
That is true. He missed a lot.
Yeah.
The Wisp misses didn't matter, but
the Thunder Wave miss.
But the other misses were unfortunate.
Yeah. So yeah, unfortunate for Ampha. Sasha won very, very invisibly. Next up, Temp versus Danny. It was originally going to be Swinub 44 versus Danny in a meme off. Turned into Temp versus Danny.
In what was still a meme off.
Yeah, it was a. This was a complete meme and a half, man. All right, so this game, Temp immediately dispatched the Talonflame on the first turn using Smeargle's comeuppance, taking itself down with it.
Yeah, now that's not a move you ever really see.
I know it got flame bodied later on, so it died immediately, but still, comeuppance Smeargle. Very no, what? Metal Burst wasn't an option? Okay. Temp then continued the momentum for Alligator, taking out the Toxicroak after a gunk shot miss, and Thunderous chipping some of Danny's team, taking out Flygon in the process, before dying to Slowbro's Future Sight. Then Torterra
I noticed that the Feraligatr actually outsped the Toxicroak. That's interesting.
I wonder what set that Croak had. If it's not max speed,
it was Adamant, I'm guessing,
or Brave, because it was not max speed.
But
no, you're right. Oh no, you're right. Adamant. Yeah. Why am I thinking of speed investments? That's wrong.
Like, I'm pretty sure the Feraligatr probably was Jolly, and the Toxicroak was probably Adamant, so that's why it outsped.
That makes sense, yeah. Torterra then came off to clean the endgame using Headlong Rush to kill Reuniclus and Incineroar, and crit Slowking for the temp win.
Yeah, that crit on Slowking, I don't think that didn't matter by that point, but that was just kind of salt in the wound.
Ended up winning with that. Next up, SVPU, we got the Big Tony losing to Eternal Ocean. Well, this game was surprising.
Why does Sun keep losing?
I mean, I like the team. I really like the team, though. Good lower tiers like Sun offense with Atena and Palisand for extra coverage. The Palisand especially, because it was weakness policy Palisand. Interesting, but it didn't really do anything, because Terra Dark Skuntank just came away and outsped, killed it with knockoff. Wonder what could have done otherwise. Well, the aforementioned Skuntank was a big issue for Tony, as all of his Sun team either took massive chip from it, or got Oko to death from knockoff / gunk shot, with Eternal Ocean really needing only to switch to let Altaria and Mudbray tank hits from Scovillain and Leafeon, respectively. And then just kind of came in, just kind of teared it up with the rest of the competition, and yeah, Eternal Ocean kind of dominated here.
The one thing I can appreciate about this game is how I got to see some shinies that I don't usually see. Like, this is my first time seeing shiny Scovillain. It's got a nice shiny.
It does got a nice shiny. It's looking very bright.
And obviously, we've seen Charizard, but there was also the shiny Palisand, which we don't usually see. That's also a nice shiny. It's black.
It's very nice. It's a befitting of the ghost typing of Palisand.
No, I think it's just a reference to Black Sand.
Oh, that's even more nice. But yeah, the cool shinies, but unfortunately the team did not win. I wish it did. SVLC, we got Novax beating Quinn. Well, this game was short, and the matchup was definitely favoring Novax at that point. Using Glamet to kill Vullaby, Voltorb Basui beat Shelder, and Mudbray basically becoming MVP, tanking a lot of hits, dishing a lot of earthquakes, even dodging Rowlet's head smash on turn 14, which a lot of people argued that, you know, if he did hit that head smash, he could have won.
I don't, well, I think it was possible, but I don't think he It's hard to say.
It's hard to say. It is boosted stamina at that point as well, but the range may be forgiven.
Thing is, I think the argument comes from the fact that I'm going to guess Quinn's Minfu was Scarf with Reckless Terrifying High Jump Kick. Or whatever else it had, but yeah. So I'm guessing that's what his Minfu was. So if the Mudbray got chipped a little more, then it could kill it, and then it'd like outspeed everything else, and possibly just clean from there.
Yeah, you could have pulled off the reverse sweep at that point if the Mudbray suffered damage to go along with not just a head smash, but getting chipped by Minfu.
Yeah, it was very possible.
Alright, that was unfortunate. That was an unfortunate turn for Quinn, and Novax took advantage of that miss and ultimately won. Alright, next up. This was the funny game of the series. No, the funny game of the week. LCap beating Enzo Nana. Which netted LCap a win on the doubles column. Alright. Enzo was in a pretty good position early on, having Terraflying Archaludon set up and beat Chen Pao through a body press, whilst pressurizing with reliable tanks like Rillaboom and Tinglu for massive support. Things then became very bad at turn 9, where Archaludon targeted the Gouging Fire, who put up Burning Bulwark to burn it and forcing the switch out.
Yeah, but also the Landorus having Terra'd and targeting the Archaludon as well with Sludge Bomb. I was honestly, before the turn played out, I was personally thinking that Enzo should switch in Tinglu there, because the Lando was probably going to attack the Archaludon with Sludge Bomb. And that thing's not too specially bulky, so, protect it a little more with the Tinglu then.
Yeah. Could've.
And, well, yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. But he didn't switch in the Tinglu.
Yeah, it unfortunately took a lot of damage by that point, and LCap started to become in a...
Oh, yeah. Also, I was thinking he probably should have used Whirlwind on turn 13 to get that King Gambit the hell out of there.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, the after that point, LCap was in a much more favorable position. Well, the fact that Enzo did not switch out the King Gambit really put a pressure on him, the team, in the long game, as the Grassy Seed combo with the boosted Swords Dance this kind of became kind of a good asset to LCap. Rillaboom as well, providing the grassy terrain, making itself a bit more tanky and, getting to heal off health. Beat out the low-hanging Archaludon and Tinglu, along with Terra Poison Landorus, and was able to run through the rest of Enzo's team. Gouging Fire picking up the final kills on Cresselia and Incineroar for the win.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
I can't imagine how it must feel to lose to LCap in your main.
Yeah.
Imagine you finally get to play your main, and then you just lose to LCap. That sounds devastating.
That sounds like the LCap really is the Mainer Slayer. He's the secret Mainer Slayer we've all been wanting. Do we? I don't know. SV Monotype. We got Rafna beating Siphicon. Huh.
Finally!
The Rafna actually picking up a good win in Monotype.
And you doubted me. I
wasn't the only one who predicted against Rafna. What are you talking about?
They all doubted me.
Blame them.
They all doubted him, actually.
Blame
They all doubted him.
Blame them, not me. I was just part of the bandwagon, I guess. Rafna had his Gallade burned to a Will-O-Wisp early on, but still managed to chip more than half damage to Ninetales and Ogerpon. That was a banded Gallade and a half. After Iron Valiant died to a crit Oko kill, Rafna set up the Great Tusk by rapid spinning against Cinderace, eventually outspeeding to kill it, and Photosynthesis helped as well, heavily chipping the Gouging Fire. And the ending, it saw the Rafna beating the Gouging Fire and Ogerpon through multiple close combats, winning the game for Rafna. Any other thoughts?
Not gonna lie, I thought the game was over once the Lilligant used close combat. I'm like, yep, that's good. And then it actually survived. I'm like, oh, I guess it's prolonged another turn.
It still got the kill. And the win.
Yeah, I was just surprised the Ogerpon lived.
Well, it's a bulky Ogerpon, okay? Alright.
Clearly, it must have some bulk, yeah.
Yeah. But still, Rafna picked up the win.
Or maybe, actually, that Lilligant's probably, seeing as that Lilligant, maybe chlorophyll,
yes.
maybe it just wasn't hitting very hard?
Yeah, it probably is. Well, yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it was under sun, and it was outspeeding a lot, so, yeah. It makes sense. Alright. Next up, the Primal Power Pangoros losing to the Resort City Rufflets on a 4-5 decision. Let's review your series, shall we? SVOU. We got Suzia losing to the Maverick Shooters.
Never predict against Mav. He will win every time you do.
Oh no. I don't even have the opportunity to do so this week.
Yeah, that's true. He'll just play and win before you can even predict against him.
He's gonna pull up the "nah, I'd win" meme card already. Alright. And, well, this one was funny. This started off really funny, because turn 5, we immediately got a freeze as the Kyurem.
After a Terra!
As the Zapdos, the Terra Steel Zapdos, got frozen to the freeze dry by the Kyurem. Turn 11 then saw Glabora trying to Power Gem a Liberoed Cinderace, who lived on 2 to pivot out, which then led to...
Yeah, that was a little silly of a turn.
It was
He could have just Sludge Waved or Sludge Bomb or whatever poison move he had, no?
Yes. Yeah, he could have Sludge Waved it.
Or even Earth Power, or did he have that?
Yeah, it had Earth Power.
Even Earth Power would have done enough and killed it, I think.
So it led on 2 and got to pivot out, which then indirectly led to turn 14, where Rillaboom managed to get a kill on Mav's Zapdos, taking itself out with a Wood Hammer. It was interesting. Then the ending, we saw the Gouging Fire trying to outplay Kingambit by Dragon Dance Morning Sun, but Kingambit instead did Kowtow Cleave to chip it heavily and caused Mav to win the game at that point.
See, that's not really chipping heavily. That's just, he's spamming it because he can.
He can and he shall. Trying to set the mind.
Yeah, because, if I had to guess, and I'd say the forfeit made it pretty obvious, that Gouging Fire wasn't Heat Crash, it was Flare Blitz. Meaning, due to the because of the Kowtow Cleave spam, it couldn't safely go for Flare Blitz, otherwise it would just kill itself from recoil. And then, well, game over anyway.
Yeah, it was game over anyway, because Lando, Kyurem, and Iron Valiant would have stood heavily a chance against the Kyurem, Tinglu, and Domora. Excuse me. Yeah, Mav just had a better endgame by that result. SVOU, what was supposed to be Drizzle versus VK, turned into Keshba versus VK.
Well, kind of mid players versus VK either way. Huh?
Hardy har. VK too strong for this tier. Very dominant display by VK, using Landorus and Gouging Fire to beat the Iron Crown, while the latter also heavily chipping Clodsire. King Gambit taking a Moltres Flamethrower while also avoiding the burn via the Lumberry, and Sucker Punching Samurott to a massive chip. Ogerpon and Namorous taking out the rest for the dominant win.
Also, Yoko predicted against VK, I'm pretty sure.
Why would you do that?
To help him win, of course.
Supporter of the Goros.
Well, yeah, that. Also, notice how he cheered for Keshba to win. It was just over when he did that. Sorry.
Sorry.
No coming back from that.
SV Ubers. We got Ainscrab versus Richard Milliplane. And Richard, once again, won.
Sort of a lucky couple turns. Sort of a lucky first couple turns for us, I think.
Yeah, Richard did play his first 2 turns well. Nearly ousting Ain's own Glamora with his own using Mudshot. And dodging...
Winning the speed tie, assuming it was a speed tie.
And, even dodging his attempt at Mudshot in the process.
Yep.
As well as catching the Koraidon switch-in by going for Dazzling Gleam, eventually.
Yep, and just straight up annihilating it immediately.
Eventually killed both in the process.
You never want that to happen to your Koraidon. That's not something you ever want to see.
That's a bad idea. Very bad idea. Eternatus Agility was an interesting little thing for Ains to build, but...
That's not uncommon, especially if it's Meteor Beam.
Oh, I guess you wanted a sweeping Eternatus set.
Yeah, that's the setup sweeper Eternatus set.
Okay, makes sense.
Although I don't think I've ever really seen it do much of anything in Ubers so far when it's used.
Yeah, not really. It's just meant there to stall and wall, I think. Turn 10 saw the Arceus Ground manage to taunt Necrozma, preventing it from getting to set up any Dragon Dances, and just safely killed it with Earthquake. In the end, the Aegis Baridon just kind of lost to the TR Calyrex. Once again, Richard keeps bringing it. Come on, guys. Who tanked an Electro Drift to set up the Trick Room and won.
Yep. Also, it ain't just Richard. I think everyone's bringing it. It's just that good.
It's just very good. Richard was already abusing it beforehand. Alright, now next up, we got Jawarabot versus Piyush. And let me pull up the game. Well, I get to show it live on camera. So, this game was very short, and it was very dominated by Jaw. Very good matchup, really, for Jawarabot to get up against Piyush's team. Ursaluna safely managing to knock out Mandibuzz and later a Latios hard switch. Hippowdon missing that Stone Edge onto a Thunder switch in on turn 8. That was really unfortunate. Greninja then knocked out Ogerpon to win the game. Nothing much really to be said. It was just a very good matchup by Jawabarat. Right. Anything you want to add?
The Stone Edge miss on Thunderous was very unfortunate because had we hit it that turn it came in, Biersch did good in predicting it would come in that turn. But had it actually hit, well, that Thunderous would be gone.
Yeah. It would have, it could have, it should have, but it didn't.
Or, at the very least, it wouldn't have gotten a chance to attack because Jawa might have been too scared to let it stay in.
Yeah, his matchup was very good. His matchup was very much decided by that point, and yeah, it was just a very slow motion kill. But otherwise, very short kill.
In other news, I just got a new personal record on Minesweeper.
Congratulations, Pokeyard.
84 seconds.
Go for 80. Can we get under 80, please?
I would need a really good start to do that.
Next up, Fiend versus Lime. This was the last proper game that was played. Because this
this was. They started playing 5. No, actually, they played this around 10 or so minutes before deadline.
Really cutting close with those freaking near deadline schedules, people.
Finished in about 5 or 6 minutes. It was posted 4 minutes before deadline.
It was very clutch. It was very clutch but Fiend ultimately picked up the win. A very unfortunate game, I feel. Thunderous.
Yeah, we definitely had that, but the Terra into well, I'll let you go through it and show them.
Yeah. Well, I will say though, Thunderous, both sides of the field, Thunderous was very well utilized by both in this game. Tenacious got the clean kill over the Cabalion for once, and Fiend's Thunderous using the bulk up acrobatic strats to chip the Oxus and beat the Palossand. Tenacious gameplay started to do well after the fact because he was very much in control. Using Cyclizar to knock off Blastoise's Never Melt Ice. Interesting choice for an item for Blastoise.
Well, it's to make Ice Beam hit hard. Hard enough Cyclizar? To, I guess, once. What?
Against Cyclizar?
Well, yeah, I mean, Assault Vest Cyclizar is kind of common.
And the +2 boosted Shell Smash can't beat that?
Not in one shot. Not in one hit, I don't think.
Wow. Alright. Yeah. That was interesting. Then the Terra Fairy Empoleon, got to basically live the +4 boosted Surf to beat it with its own Surf. And
yeah, that was actually Empoleon's crazy. Yeah. I was like, when I saw Surf come out, I thought it was over because I just assumed we would die to that. But no, we lived, and even though we became neutral to it, that was surprising.
Never underestimate Empoleon's bulk. Okay, I learned that the hard way. Tanish nearly pulled it off in this game. You know, let's look at the game to show you what I mean. So, we got the Armor Rouge taking out the Cyclizar there. Thunderous came in, and you'd think, okay, he's probably gonna go for an electric move. It would be a nice, easy move to finish off Armor Rouge, right? Terra Ground. On turn 24, it managed to Terra Ground, out-predicting that Volt Switch, and getting to kill in return the Thunderous with Armor Cannon. And then that led to the Endure strat to tank Okie Doki's Close Combat. So it would boost itself, boost the weak armor, use that, kill it with Expanding Force, and win the game. Any other thoughts?
Nope. Just I just wonder what other moves our Thunderous had that would have made sense to use.
Grass knot. Actually, no, not grass knot, because at that point,
We wouldn't have known to use that. No.
yeah, it would have been resisted either way. But yeah, maybe it was grass knot, volt switch, something. So that was a nice win for Fiend. What a well played endgame at that point. So give at least credit to that for that regard. All right, next up, SV and U. We got Shinjineer versus Wadley. This game was funny because look at the team.
This game was unfortunate to watch.
This game was really funny, especially when you're watching it not live. Turn 4.
I'd say especially when you're not on the team that's losing.
Yeah.
Or on the same team as the player that is losing.
Turn 4, we saw Ambipom knock off Vaporeon's Covert Cloak, who then burned it in return, giving Wadley a pretty distinct disadvantage early on. The rest of the game basically was Shen's matchup, overwhelming Wadley's with Copper chipping both Klefki and Flygon heavily with the Heavy Slam, Talonflame finishing off the latter with Brave Bird. Shen took advantage from there. Using two evolutions that revealed later in the game by the Ditto on Wadley, by Wadley's Ditto, they were both Wish support evolutions. They had Wish, they had Protect, they had well, one's got Foul Play, in Toxic, the other one's got Scald and Ice Beam. So, yeah, it was just really funny to see both evolutions basically mind-effing poor Wadley here. Wish stalling and pivoting out and whatnot. Wadley tried...
I was gonna say, I wasn't really paying attention to the NU prep going on, but, Wadley must have been really convinced Shinjineer was going to use HO to bring a team like he did.
Yeah. So I guess that backfired on him pretty quickly once he looked at Shin's team. He did try various attempts to come back, Klefki getting to paralyze the Talonflame, and Ditto around despite being poisoned. But Shen's team was too bulky by the end, and his team wasn't really properly in the works. It didn't really it wasn't good enough to stand up to Shinjineer's bulk. Lucario ended up being burned, killed by the Flygon at the end, winning the game for Shinjineer. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, this game was doomed.
Very much so. I mean, we all kind of expected this would be a good game and it could really go either way. It just so happens that Shinjineer picked up the win. Alright, next up, a mugging. I got Fission and a Meter beating TGA. Well, turn 6, we saw the Decidueye utilize a Colbur Berry acrobatic strat, which TGA used to kill Skuntank. I thought that was a pretty neat strat. I've never seen.
I will admit, TGA's team looked pretty heat on paper.
It was good. It took out acrobatics. It took out Skuntank with relative ease thanks to the Colbur Berry being eaten and the acrobatics boosting that power to 110%.
There was even more heat originally. Actually, no, not originally. He changed it to... He changed it. My bad.
Alright. In the end, we saw the Terra Ghost Decidueye proving to be a major threat. OHKOing the Sandslash Alola with Spirit Shackle, and Tauros' Intimidates not really being effective, as it Terra Grasses and it Trailblaze attempts were shut down by the Shadow Sneak. ultimately picking up the win for Fish.
According to Piyush, and I'm inclined to believe him, had Tauros actually killed Decidueye, supposedly TGA's Inteleon just straight up won.
Yeah, against his own Inteleon? Against Fish's?
In theory, yes. Because
Interesting.
apparently TGA's was Terra Grass.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the exact set. I don't remember. It was never posted in the PU prep channel.
That would have been
Piyush
deep.
posted it in the game discussion channel because, well, I was confused as to how Inteleon won in theory because the set he actually brought did not match the set in the pace that he posted.
Interesting. Conflicting team prep from the Rufflet side. Next up, SVLC. We got the self-proclaimed best player in the. We got the self-proclaimed best player of the tour, Yippee Drippy, beating what was originally going to be Greedy, but it turns out it was Velvet who subbed in. What happened?
You should have heard the chat. You should have seen the chat when they heard who was subbing in. Oh Lord.
Oh boy. I expected chaos from that chat. Yeah, this game was very good for Yippee because he was in control for most of this game, using Tinkatink to still off.
In control of the chat, arguably too.
The chat as well. Yeah. Well, Meanfu lost its Eviolite to a pickpocket from Tinkatink, which benefited Yippee very nicely. Toad Scroll was also very used effectively, rapid spinning away the rocks and tanking Mudbray's Earthquakes. There was a good turn played at turn 20. Let me scroll through that and show you what I mean. That is the freaking Terra Steel play by the Meanfu, tanking Gothita's Psychic and knocking off Okoing the Gothita. And the chat went wild, lamowing and telling everyone why Yippee is a god among men.
Oh, they were doing that the entire time. It did not start there.
Yeah, if you look at the entire chat, they were, my God, the bashing of the praise that befelt upon Yippee the God was, yip yapping, yippity doos. From
I'll leave it up to you whether you want to read any of what they were saying about Yippee in the chat.
Yeah, if you want to go read it for yourself, it's a gold mine of memes. Velvet's last resort was the Terra Dragon Mudbray, which still took surprising hits despite the Eviolite being knocked off, which I'm kind of surprised by. Like it was tanking like what was it? Draining Kisses from Tinkatink, a lot of them. And, the rest talk coverage coming into clutch very nicely. So yeah, the end game saw Yippee firmly in control, winning with the Growlithe Hisui to take out Mudbray and Voltorb Hisui.
I gotta say though, it was crazy to me how Draining Kiss had a range on Mudbray of like around 32 to 48.
That's crazy. What was more surprising? The fact that Tinkatink's got to do a lot of damage with the Eviolite being knocked off, and that netted for some good advantages, or just Mudbray just tanking that thing?
I don't know.
Either way, it was very surprising. And yes, Yippee did win, netting himself a good win.
Yeah, that was a good win.
That was a good win. You have to admit, it was a good win. What was not a good win, and a very strange turn of events instead unfolded. SVDOU Penter vs. PokeArt 2004 ended in a dead game. This was mired in controversy, to say the least. The scheduling was very vague admittedly, you said that basically what had happened was both these guys scheduled a time. They said anytime after 6 p.m. Which, okay, that's a good little time frame.
To be specific, to be exact, I asked his availability on Sunday, and he said he was available anytime after 6 p.m. on Sunday.
Yes.
I don't think that's quite true, though.
What do you mean?
You know, I don't think someone who's supposedly available anytime after that, when asked to come on multiple times and not showing up at all, I don't think they are actually available during that time frame.
So Pokeart waited for a couple of hours.
5. I waited 5 hours.
5 hours?
I waited until deadline almost.
To ask, and they did ask around for managers and team players to say, "Hey, where's Penter?" or "Hey, can we have a sub?"
I asked for a sub quite a bit earlier than they actually provided one.
Yeah, and then after a couple of hours of waiting, they decided, "Hey, Penter still has a lot of time to do. They could still come on at any time." So the defense was pretty weak. If I were to put it in Ace Attorney Ace Attorney the terminology, the defense was pretty weak. But because Penter would have still realistically come on at that time, on for the next 2 hours, because it was specifically said anytime after 6 p.m. So
yeah, but it's already a straight up lie if even when asked to come on after 6 p.m., he doesn't come on for multiple hours and never even comes on Showdown the entire day.
So that resulted in you...
In fact, he hadn't been on Showdown for 4 days straight.
Well, that resulted in you leaving, I guess. After that, it was very vague. You left, then the chat, and then after a while, the chat said 30 minutes before the deadline, Fiend asked if you were on, because they have kind of a sub ready. They did have a sub ready by that point, but you weren't available at that time, so it did not count. That's the whole shebang.
I think you just straight up waited too long to sub that close to the deadline. Just saying.
So, yeah, that's the whole controversy.
You had 5 hours to do so. No, you had, well, maybe not so much 5 hours, but you had quite a bit more time than just 30 minutes before deadline to do it.
Yeah, so that was the whole controversy. Maybe it would have been mitigated a little bit more had you guys provided like a fixed time frame. Maybe you could have you said, "Hey, this is when I'll actually be available." Or no, well, how am I gonna put this? Maybe if you gave like a specific time frame, then your defense would have been a little bit more stronger. But you know, as it stands now, it's just a straight up dead game. So that's just my 2 cents on the matter. It was what it was. It's a dead game. Let's move on.
Well, in general, he's not one to be very good at responding to scheduling, apparently.
That's interesting. That's an interesting point.
I mean, he did had I known that, I would have been a lot more adamant.
Well, he did. Well, it did happen before in this tour. I think he missed another deadline at back then. So, all right. Next up. So after that whole explanation out of the way, let's now move on to SV Monotype, where Dunox actually managed to beat Azik.
Yeah, that was a relief.
Bro, the ruling of never predict against Azik, that commandment, shut it all down, because 2 friggin' weeks in a row, Azik has lost. Oof.
Well, I think what we brought was pretty good against Azik.
You know what? This was actually a very good game. I really like this game because, my god, you guys, both these guys employed strats that are, yes, very common in Monotype, but they were played just so well. Flying versus ground is always like a great matchup.
You say so well, but
Flying versus ground is just a good matchup overall. Okay, just a good little pairing to see what you can do against a thing that would normally be immune to. And when
some of Azek's plays confused me. Namely, you know what? Actually, let's get into it before I call it out.
Okay. So, as I mentioned, Azek brought Gravity Ground.
Yep.
Yeah, Gravity Ground, which is, the best way to deal with any sort of flying team in Monotype. Just bring Gravity Ground. And was starting to pick up momentum once it's been set out by Landorus. Critting Gliscor with Excadrill's Earthquake on turn 5, which was scary. And having Garchomp be perfectly set up to kill Corviknight, who can only really muster Body Press with Stone Edge. I feel like if you brought Brave Bird, you would have had a much better chance with Corviknight, but whatever. After playing mostly on the back foot for this game, Dunox, who'd been knocking off various items on Azek's team, managed to shift the game in his favor by having Tornadus kill Garchomp and Confuse kill Hippowdon with Hurricane at turn 30. Kind of a sort of lucky confusion.
Yeah, we got a confusion turn, which was that was a bit lucky, but let me tell you how much I was cheering when I saw it.
You were screaming. I bet you were screaming.
Well, not screaming, but I was pumping my fists.
Almost punching the screen.
No, I don't have that. I don't have that little self-control. Jeez.
Oh, you nearly punched your monitor. I like the choice of Excadrill having choice band though. That was under Sandstorm. Excadrill really does a lot of damage, and
Oh yeah, that Excadrill was terrifying under gravity.
And choice band, big damage. After one last attempt by Landorus with the gravity, Dunox managed to claim the kill on it with Freeze Dry, and I believe this is the turn you were talking about, turn 52, where Excadrill was hard switched in, and Tornadus made the brilliant out prediction move by going for Heat Wave and killing it.
No, that isn't what I was talking about. Dunox simply predicted the hard switch because he figured Azek would probably predict he would switch.
Okay, so I wonder. So I wonder what the confusing play was, because all I know is the end game.
It was actually pretty early in the game, I believe.
Which turn? Was it after the Hippowdon kill?
Let's see. No, it was even earlier than that. Turn 9.
Turn 9?
Why didn't he go for gravity? Why'd he Sludge Wave there?
Oh! Trying to get a friggin' kill, I guess?
Chip, I guess, but don't you always go for gravity when you have the chance to? Isn't that the rule of playing it?
Oh, yeah, and then maybe it was prolonging it for the later turn. Maybe he saw a different opportunity to go for the freaking gravity.
He would have had other opportunities to do so.
Yeah, I only managed to hit it twice. Maybe the gravity play on turn 9 would have been much better for Azek.
Yeah, perhaps.
So the end game, we saw Gliscor set up the Swords Dance and beat the Clodsire and Ursaluna with Facade, winning Dunox that game. It was a really good game, honestly.
I wasn't sure if we won that game when only Gliscor was left, and there was the Clodsire and the Ursaluna, because I didn't know what our Gliscor set was. I figure if we're only, EQ and knockoff and whatever, if we only have like EQ, knockoff, and stuff, like we only have attacks, then odds are we lost. Okay, so I thought we could have lost if we were like only attacks, and but then we revealed sword stance while the Clodsire was still out, and I'm like, oh, we win.
Yeah, we won. Yeah, you guys
That's
won by
it.
that point with the sword stance reveal. With the sword stance reveal and the facade, that was the turning point as well for me. Like,
Hell, even if it wasn't facade and it was just earthquake, we still won.
Also, it's really interesting to see Clodsire still trying to set up toxic spikes, even on a flying team.
Oh yeah.
I know gravity.
True.
I know gravity, okay,
Wait,
but
no,
still.
actually, yeah, gravity. Gravity negates the flying, so like the toxic spikes actually did come in handy a bit because they poisoned the tornadoes thanks to gravity.
Oh yeah, that did happen. That's right.
So yeah, that's actually another use for gravity, I guess.
Yeah, setting up the grounded hazards.
I think most people don't think of that.
Yeah, very good game. Very good game for the very good mono game. Alright, finally, we got the Skeleduges positioning they're stomping their claim to playoffs as they beat the Snorlaxes. So, first off, we got SVOU Ferenia versus Avarice, where Avarice picked up the win. Game started out well for Ferenia. Really did. Using the Iron Treads to Steel Beam and break Dragonite's multi-scale, forcing the sack and pivoting to Zamazenta, who stone-edged it to death. That was a good little sequence for Ferenia. I really like that. Upper hand, Blaziken. Wow, that's an interesting little strat there. Managing to...
What the heck does upper hand even do?
I guess it flinches.
I heard it's like a fighting type fake out, but like I guess it doesn't have to be on the first turn, clearly.
It worked effectively. Worked effectively for him. Managing to flinch Rillaboom before he died to a grassy glide.
Oh, wait, I get it.
What?
I see.
What does upper hand do?
I just read what it does. 100% flinch rate fails unless target is using priority.
Oh, okay. That's actually a really good... yeah, it's a good priority blocker.
Yeah. So that's, that makes sense.
It's a good priority blocker.
Rillaboom was going for grassy glide, so that's why it worked.
Yeah, good. I mean, use upper hand more. Mikoi approved. Ferenia then misclicked into hard-switching Halucha to a sludge-waving Glamora, leaving it to be sacked against Goldango, giving Avarice the momentum quite into the game again. Poor One Last Kiss. Could have had an opportunity to really pivot out. Oh no, to have hard Halucha come in at a safer point, but no, the hard switch. Final turn saw Terra Poison Darkrai beating Terra Poison Primarina with Dark Pulse, winning the game. So, yeah, short game. Any other thoughts?
Not really.
Well, this one, definitely you have a lot of fun.
Well, actually, I guess my only real thought about that was how the misclick sucked, and Life Orb Zamazenta is not something I often see.
Yeah, that again, very surprising sets, man. These are really surprising sets coming into play. I like it. Be more Mimi in OU games, please. Next up, this one you definitely have a lot of things to say. Ineffable beating JJ. What? Well, turn one, we saw JJ going for Supercell Slam, which countered with Sandy Shocks, giving him a complete advantage at the start. The basically Supercell Slam basically is a high jump kick because if it fails, it kept going and it would crash. Rip.
Yep.
After a couple of turns, Halucha then came in against the paralyzed Dragonite, started setting up with Sword Stance, and Terra ghosted against Iron Treads, and Terra blasted it to death. And just basically sweeping the rest of JJ's team. This is how you play the Halucha right, Ferenia. And a Fable showing you what it's done. Any other thoughts?
Well, some sets just frick you over completely sometimes. And that Halucha set was such a set for JJ.
It was a complete, utter wreckage. Next up, SV Ubers, we got Sky U beating Layson. Knew it had it in us to predict for Sky U to win. Now Sky, he went the real stall approach in this game. Look at that gross, disgusting set.
Isn't that, am I wrong in saying this, or is that what Layson brought in week 1?
That would be really funny. That would be a really
I
funny
don't know.
coincidence.
It looks a lot like it. Let me look, actually. It was not the same team. It was similar, but not the same.
Just replace a couple of mons, I guess.
Yeah, what Layson brought was Dondozo, Gliscor, Skarmory, Ho-Oh, Clodsire, Alomomola.
And Sky U counteracted that by bringing Blissey and Arc. So, he went for the stall approach in this game. Miraidon really struggled to kill Clodsire, only managing to use its Terra Dragon to beat it at turn 17, only after Layson lost his Glimmora to Gliscor earlier. Then Blissey walled Eternatus really heavily through Meteor Beams and Dynamax Cannons to heal itself off to safely kill it with Seismic Toss. And yeah, the rest of this game, Sky U just stalled and walled. The rest of Lace's team fell victim to his bulky Arceus support, with Necrozma being beaten by foul play, and Lacen's own Arceus burnt by Will-O-Wisp, as well as Iron Defense for even bulkier support for Sky U to win the game. Any other thoughts?
Also, yeah, I do have some thoughts.
Okay.
Lacen's avatar is fire.
Yeah, it's a good avatar. Doo-doo shit.
Yeah.
Tanya.
I want that avatar.
Draw it then. I dare you. Alright, next up. SVUU. Mimi Lucha beating the Drew Man. Another predictor right, IMO. So what happened in this game? Well, Drew got off to a pretty hot start.
You got kind of unlucky in this, right?
Yeah, he did. So, Drew got off to a pretty hot start, poisoning the Tornadus with his own using Sludge Bomb and using Ursaluna to dispatch the Como. Yeah, Drew basically had most of this game down. The Terra Fairy Hydrapple managing to kill Tornadus, and Lokix just being a good revenge sweeper, chipping Slowking, killing Excadrill and Raikou after both tried setting up. It was not meant to be. Towards the final stretch, Mimi Lucha avoided getting his Terra Fairy Slowking poisoned by Drew's Tornadus, and Ogerpon managed to live a Luster Purge from Latios to kill it, as well as outplaying Hydrapple into doing Encore on its Nasty Plot. And then...
Yeah, once I saw the reveal of Ogerpon's Encore on, encoring the Hydraplin to Nasty plot a bit earlier in the game before the end game, I was like, oh dear, I have a feeling that's gonna come back to haunt Drew in the end game.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that's gonna be why he loses.
Well, the next turn came in turn 49, where there was an unfortunate hard switch-in that Ogre killed the Lokits via a crit Oko U-turn. All Drew basically had left was the paralyzed Hydrapple, which Mimi took advantage of and safely beat it with the Slow King.
Yep.
Any other thoughts?
Not really, but I do feel Drew got unlucky in this game.
Yeah, that crit sucked. Next up, SVRU. We got Fellyburn beating Crying. Well. I predicted for Felly too, I think.
Did
Did I?
Did you?
Frick! Did I really predict Crying? Crap.
Yeah, I think you did. There's no check mark here.
Oh, I'm boned. Okay, fine. Turn 5, we saw the, Felly knocking out Crying Cyclazar with an Oko first impression. That momentum was shifted very early on for Fellyburn because of that crit. Unfortunate pain for Crying. Felly then continued the momentum by Gardevoir killing the Volcanion and Swords Dance boosted Rhyperior taking out Hippowdon. And Gardevoir managed to trick away Okidogi's Choice Band into his Choice Scarf and using Toxic Chain against Crying. Like, Toxic Chain coming back to bite Crying in the butt by poisoning the Chandelure. And yeah, Slitherwing basically cleaned out the endgame by CCing Terra Dark, Okidogi, and chipping Bellybolt enough for Bisharp to take the kill, Felly to win the game. Any other thoughts?
Nope.
Well, this game. Okay. Next game. Geodude versus Axortix in SVNU. Oh boy, this game was memes. This game was memes because everyone in the chat is just memeing the absolute shiznits out of it. Game started off interesting.
Oh yeah, this game was crazy.
This game was whack. Extremely whack. Well, interestingly so, might I add, because Geodude managed to activate the throat spray onto Mew, preventing Golurk from getting off a Poltergeist on turn 1, but Axortix counteracted its taunt attempt by having Mental Herb and setting up the Trick Room safely.
Can we also point out that this Mew that Geodude was using was Psychic Noise Throat Spray with Nasty Plot and Taunt?
What a weird ass Mew set. I mean, was it effective? Yeah. Was it Mimi? Hell the fuck yeah.
No, it wasn't really effective because it never really got the chance to do much.
Not really. Well, no, yeah, you're right. After Axortix's Mew, Misty exploded, Crabominable came into the field and started its sweep through Rotom, and even Ditto, giving Axortix a complete advantage after that. Unlucky Oko crit happened on turn 13, where the Terra Poison Umbreon died to an Ice Hammer. I wish that didn't happen for Geodude. I wish it could have lived. Then yeah, the Terrifier Brute Bonnet then took care of the rest, beating Mew and Flygon at the end to win.
Yep.
Terrifier Brute Bonnet. What the frick? I mean, I get it. It's fine.
It's for Fairy, Bug, Fire itself, other things.
Yeah. SVPU. We got Druid versus Blood Ace. Well, this game was very, very interesting, if I do say so myself. It was a game. It was a game of all time. I feel like that's the catchphrase of this year's BLT. Games of all time. Ace's Florages set up nicely against the +4 nasty plotted Rotom and tanked its overheats well before killing it with Moonblast. That was nice. Ace continued the momentum with Flamigo beating Duraludon with knockoff. It seemed Ace actually was kind of poised to win with the Terra Dragon Milotic burning the Decidueye with Scald and killing it with Ice Beam, generally being ahead for most of the game. However, Druid's Skuntank managed to avoid getting burned and beat Milotic safely, then took out Zoroark. Shoutouts.
What?
Shoutouts to Zoroark. Zoroark with his Aftermath dying alongside it. Ouch, that is a out of context line and a half when you actually put it in. Ending saw the Inteleon and Mudsdale win against Golurk, winning Drew that game. Any other thoughts?
Not really. Shoutouts to Zoroark.
Shoutouts to Zoroark. Come back, man. Want to see you play BLT again. Next up was SVLC. We got Black Knight Gawain versus Paolo, and this was a mugging.
Of the predictable kind.
Yeah, most of this game was Gawain dominated, outplaying Paolo at every possible direction, dismantling the trick Gothita's attempts at locking into Scarf and using it to its advantage, dodging a high jump kick attempt at turn 20, but that's really the only hacks that happened in this game. The rest was pretty...
Yeah, I was gonna say Paolo did get a little unlucky, but Gawain definitely just straight up played better.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Gawain definitely was in control for most of this game. Voltorb Basui just kind of cleaned the rest, winning with multiple Thunderbolts. Not much else to say, do we?
I don't think there's much else to say, no.
Gawain picking up a nice win. SVDOU, we got Exotic versus the Cheese in one. Exotic first using the sweeper early on with Kingdra taking off Glamora and Iron Hands. Glamora, Kingdra took out Glamora, chipped Tinglu massively before dying to its life orb, and Ogerpon took out Comfey very, very well. Cheese looked great in the middle though, with Ogerpon and Gouging Fire being in the field, and later Iron Hands set up in the perfect position, with the former taking out the Terra Ghost Pelipper after it knocked out the Tinglu. However, towards the end, it was clearly Exotic who had the much more favored position, Archaludon's Electro Shot and Dragon Pulse taking out the Ogerpon and Gouging Fire, leaving only Iron Hands, which Exotic took out with Necrozma's Expanding Force and under Psychic Terrain. Any other thoughts?
Nope. Exotic played that quite well. And Cheese did too, but it just wasn't meant to be, I guess.
Yeah, Exotic had the much more favored position by the end. In the Thornoy SV Monotype, we got Mata versus Twinkey, which was Ghost versus Ghost.
Another mirror type match.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken... Oh no, I definitely am, because they didn't bring the same ones. Ah, well, it's fine. Both lost a Mon immediately in the first two turns, though, which was really funny. It's the Shadow Ball attempt.
According to Mata, he's been getting mirror type matches the entire tour.
That's funny. That's really funny. I want to look back on these games and see what happens. Yeah. After Twinkey sets up that +1 to +1 D-Dance, that basically outsped everything on Mata's team. Really struggled, though, against the Skeleturge because of Unaware and good defenses, but It only really took a crit Phantom Force to kill that thing. Because it kept living hits. But yeah, the rest of the game, basically Twinkie beat Mata with the Dragapult using Phantom Force and Dragon Darts, sweeping the whole team and winning. Any other thoughts?
Not really. Just that, on preview, I was like, oh, yep, I see why Twinkie won this.
Was it the Dragapult that gave it away?
No, it was the fact I saw a Mimikyu versus no Mimikyu.
Oh. Well, there's Skeletors, but that's
ironically,
really the only role.
Mimikyu didn't do very much, did it?
No, not really. Alright, now we got that out of the way. Let's look at the standings and see what happened. Taking a look at the standings, the rough standings that PokeArt graciously manipulated herself into, because the record sheet, I basically have the least trust in that thing getting updated, so PokeArt took the kind liberties and updated it herself. Thank you very much for that. And so we can show you the proper standings. So as you can see, the Phantom Troup and the Resort City Rufflets, after their series have concluded, 10-9 points, guaranteed playoffs. So congratulations, PokeArt, you have managed to do another BLT playoffs. I don't think you have missed one, right?
In BLT?
Yeah.
You can't see it, but I'm like giving you the biggest face of disappointment.
Where? Where was the last time?
I think you completely forgot last year existed.
I guess I blocked that out from my memory then.
Yes, it seems you forgot about the Ice Path Iron bundles, Mikoi.
Oh man, that's right. I thought that was memes, but no, it wasn't. It was shit. Anyway, yeah. Congratulations again on making another BLT playoffs, PokeArt. Are you happy?
Yes, but I want to win. I haven't won one yet.
I have won. I've won one, and I didn't get my custom avatar. Where's my royalties?
You won in a year that didn't give them yet.
Where's my royalties, huh? Where's my royalties?
I've been playing since the years before they gave one, and I still haven't won in period. I just want to win.
I didn't even play that. I didn't even play a game in my the year that I won. So, all right. So yeah, Skeletor just came in third with 8 points. They're also pretty much guaranteed. So congratulations.
They are guaranteed.
Shout outs, by the way, to Frixel for winning official Smogon doubles tournament that happened earlier today.
Yep, I saw that.
Yeah. So the clear horse race is between the Laxes and the Goros, as they are 6 and 5 points. And I think they are facing this week, right?
I think the Stuffles, in theory, still have a chance.
The Stuffles are rank 6 right now, and yes, they do have a chance, but
it's just incredibly slim.
Yeah,
they need the Goros and Laxes to lose their weeks.
And with the Stuffles facing the Goros, as I've now checked the week 7 lineup, the Stuffles facing the Goros, so they need to beat the Goros and have the Laxes lose badly to have their differential.
They need to beat the Goros badly and have the Laxes lose badly in order to make it in. Yeah,
it's nigh impossible, but maybe with a little bit of luck, they might pull it off.
I wouldn't say not impossible, but it's very hard.
Yeah, it's very hard to do. As for the rank 7 and 8, the Lure Society and the Lavender Laprases, yeah, on 3 points isn't gonna cut it. I'm sorry, but both teams are out of BLT.
Yeah, it sucks because the Lures had a very real chance until last week.
Yeah, they just got really unlucky with the matchup.
They got
memed on, they did. So, let's see who won predicts.
Okay, between us two?
Between us two and the pick. Because remember, we did introduce the AI.
Yes, so just between us three then.
Yes.
And not the others.
You want to mention the others if you want.
I don't think I do this time because the results.
I have never seen a more disappointed face. I have never seen a more disappointed look on your face, Pokeart.
You can't even see it.
I know.
And yet you say that.
I can just imagine it. But yeah, announce the winner.
Okay, between the three of us, the winner was me.
Yay.
With only 15 out of 30 correct.
A perfect half. Congratulations.
Yes. There was a tie for second place between you and the pick, by the way.
We scored exactly the same.
Yep. 18 out of 39.
God damn, how the frick? I am freaking average. I freaking tied a freaking computer.
Yes, you did. But at least you didn't score worse than it, unlike someone else.
You wanna? I'll give you the opportunity to announce the other ones who did predictions on that week and the amount of sheer bloodshed that's about to happen.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll announce them.
Oh,
so,
no.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I don't want to say this, but I think I have to. Because it's a rather momentous occasion.
Oh my gosh, this is a historic moment in the Mikoi videos.
The winner of predicts overall of all the people who predicted last week was Yoko is OP.
Slow clap. And how many did they get?
20 out of 38.
That's really good. That's a really good performance. That's
It's not super good. That's 52%.
Yeah,
it's only slightly better than me, Stereo, and Frags.
And yeah, unfortunately, me and Pick, we were buddies. We couldn't even break those, but we did score over one person.
Yep, Keshpa.
We scored 17 out of 38, I believe. Yay!
Yep, correct. Although he kind of painted his own downfall by doing predicts for his own team.
Well, that really puts the differential
predicting
low.
they would win 10-0 even after we had already won the first game over them.
Bro, that's 10 minus predicts. You unintentionally screwed your own ratio with that by predicting for your own team. Come on.
I think he just wanted to promote his team's agenda. Just say, we are awesome. We will win.
And guess what happened?
Like, bro, at that point, just don't predict your own team, okay?
You don't want to screw over your own ratio, okay?
Don't predict for your team unless you're actually sure they'll actually, win most of the games.
Like win-win? Okay. Alright, so, okay, Art. It is time to finally do these predicts. Week 7, the last week of the round robin stages before we head into playoff territory next week. And it's gonna be me, PokeArt, and the Pick battling once again for the purposes of this video. Are we bringing back Pick? We are?
Yeah.
Alright, let's get on to the predicts. First off, the Phantom Trout versus the Lavender Laprases. The first place team versus the 8th place team. How fitting.
Yeah, this is literally the most pointless series yet.
But, goddamn the memes. Goddamn the memes. First off, SVOU, we got Botsy versus El Cap. Oh boy.
I think we both know what we're gonna say.
Yeah, we're going for El Cap. that is completely what we're going. Yeah, right?
That is not what I was going to say.
What were you going to say then?
Well, I was gonna say the obvious answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's the. Are you surprised? Are you surprised that we're going for Botsy over friggin' El Cap?
I know I'm certainly not.
I know I'm not, and I hope people realize that. Because what does Pick say?
We randomly picked El Cap.
Oh, the Pick side. Oh, El Cap has the AI against him. No wonder the cheese. No wonder friggin' Mr. Shit Talker is going to win. He has the power of AI and hacks on his side. All right.
Can't believe this. Thank you, Pick. Thank you.
SVOU, we got Alpha 1013 making his BLT debut against Thiago Nunes. Now, granted, Thiago Nunes.
So this is someone I only have a incredibly vague idea of who they are versus Thiago Nunes.
So, okay, Thiago Nunes hasn't had the best BLT. We all know that. 2-4 record, not the greatest for the highest priced player this year. Yeah. 2-4 is not a very good record. However, it's still.
I didn't realize he was only 2-4.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but he's still Thiago Nunes. And he's still like one of the best freaking players here. So yeah, T Nunes to win, please. At least end off with a high note, T Nunes.
Yeah, I'm sure he probably wants to end off on a high note.
What does Pick say?
Oh wait, yeah, I was about to say that. We randomly picked Alpha 1013.
What the frick is going on with Pick? Is it trying to big brain us?
I think the Pick knows something we don't.
It's trying to big brain us. It's making 5-head plays. Beware. SV Ubers. We got 7992 versus Pote.
Well, I think this is pretty obvious.
We're going for Pote? We're going for the old school to win? Oh, man. Nah, you're right. Even though Pote is wow, he's only 1-5? What was his only win? Geomancy. Right. Yeah.
I don't think it's very surprising that he's 1-5, considering
he has been
pool.
Yeah, he has considerably got harder he has considerably gotten harder and harder opponents every friggin' year that he plays. And this one's no exception. This one's probably the most egregious example of that. 7992, of course, getting a 4-2 record. Very, very well deserved record for the Uber's circuit champion. Yeah, 7992 to win.
We randomly picked Prince of All Tacos.
My God, the Pick is really.
The Pick's feeling bold today.
The Pick is the betting man. I can't believe it.
The betting bot.
The betting bot. SV Yo, we got Just Franco versus Polo Ariosto. Let's see what the records are. Franco is 5-1, only losing to Arcanine 1929. Can't believe I have to say that every week. And Polo Ariosto is actually 2-3.
Well, I mean, he's been playing LC for most of the tour.
Yeah. I mean, got a decent win over DMM. So.
He's not beating Franco and UU, Mikoi. This guy's actually just as scary in UU as he is in RU.
Yep. I mean, I agree 100%. Do you think I disagree? No. Friggin' Franco to win.
Not even the Pick wants to go against Franco here.
Surely.
No, literally, I just did it. We randomly picked just Franco.
Okay, good. Pick knows to be wise with that. Next up, SVRU, we got High Naming's Hard versus Sasha. I feel like if High Naming is Hard played more games, I feel like the Labrasus would have had a much more storied RU career. So they only played once, lost to Lime. And yeah, never got to play again. I really feel like High Naming is Hard should have played more. Really could have played and showcased his potential in RU. And for that reason, I'm going to pick him over Sasha.
I was gonna pick him too, simply because I think he's probably the better RU player.
Yeah, I mean he has a pretty good he has had a pretty good RU career ahead already, so it's not hard to see why high naming wouldn't win.
We randomly picked Sasha.
Again, betting man. Next up is SVNU. We got Stories versus Swinepan, and yeah, Stories already won. I would have picked Stories either way. So
I would have also picked Stories. The pick also picked Stories.
So where does that put Stories? They are Swinepan, of course, they're friggin' 1-3. Ouch, 1-3. Ugh.
Is Stories like 6-1 or something?
Let's see. Stories is 6-1. They only lost to Shinjineer.
Damn!
Good job,
and that
Stories.
Was from Hacks.
Good job, Stories. A very successful BLT for you. Please tell me picks. Please tell me pick Stories.
Pick Stories, yes.
Good. SVPU. A matchup that I'm not really the most interested in, to be honest. Drip Legend versus Tony. Big Tony 2014.
I'm interested because this is our time to finally predict Big Tony to win.
Really? Are you really going for Big Tony for this one?
Drip Legend sucks.
Wow. Actually, yeah.
Did you know Drip Legend was literally one of TGA's only wins? And his easiest one by far?
Yeah. I remember that game. So yeah, I think we are gonna go with Big Tony on this one because I feel like the way that he played PU, especially these last couple of weeks that he's gotten to play, I could see the skill there. I could see if he just overcomes the hump of trying to beat people, he will finally pick up that win. So maybe invest in Big Tony.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, Drip Legend isn't terribly good.
Needs to be a little bit more consistent with his PU plays.
So it sounds like everyone's picking Big Tony.
Oh man, the big support for the Big Tony. Big lad. Go for it. SVLC, we got Starzama versus Novax. And a matchup I'm actually interested on. Both players looking pretty good in LC, I think. Well, Starzama.
Sorta, yeah.
Well, Starzama already has a great record to its name. 4-1. While Novax is
only having lost to Quinn, right?
Yes, only having lost to Quinn, while Novax is 2-0. Very, very good. All right. So I'm very interested in this game. However, I do see that Starzama is the better player of the two, having seen more of their performances and, actually being great in LC. Definitely a breakout star of this tour, as I've already mentioned past weeks. So yeah, Starzama to win.
I agree, but we randomly picked Novax.
Man's. Let's move on to a highlight match, if everyone would like to see for themselves. Aragon versus SMB. SMB is 4-1. While...
Yes?
Oh, wait.
I don't think so.
5-1 or 4-2? This wasn't updated with week 6.
Let me see. Okay. 1 in week 1.
1 in week 1, 1 in week 2, 1
in week 2, 1 in week 3. Lost in week 4. That's 3-1. 1 in week 5. 4-1. Oh, wait. Is he not played every week?
Oh, I think he missed last week. Oh. Okay. So, Erica.
Oh, right. El Cap was the double slot for the Lapras last week.
Ah, that's right. All right.
Oh, then yeah, he's 4-1.
4-1. Okay, so this was updated. I'm sorry, spreadsheet. Meanwhile, Aragon, as we've mentioned, had a really bad BLT, but he actually came back and is now neutral. 3-3.
Oh, not bad.
Okay, so he's beaten Penter, he's beaten Railgun, he's beaten Nakaru Kokyo, he's lost to Loudwinner, he's lost to Exotic, lost to Innovable. Okay, so what are we saying now? What will we say about this game? This one's really close.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to say.
Both players are definitely have some high highs, but also I don't. Here's the thing. Aragon does tend to choke a lot more than he suffered. Also, he's had some unlucky moments here and there, despite getting wins. See his week 1 game versus Panther, for example. The SMB has been more consistent, I feel, so I think I'm gonna go with SMB.
Okay, my gut's saying Aragon, but I think I'll go SMB.
Okay. What does your
I don't know. It's usually when I don't listen to my gut that's right, though.
And we randomly picked
Aragon.
Okay. Seems like the pick trusts your gut. Alright, Monotype. We got Jojo Wee versus Rofna. Well, alright. Jojo Wee has had a pretty good mono career, I think. Did go very far in the Monotype Cup, as I mentioned in the tier list video, but he has only played one game and lost to VK in week 4. So
that was OU, however.
That was OU. So now he's actually in the tier that he excels at. Meanwhile,
wait, he excels at OU?
No, I said. Oh, that's right, because he had that laddering thing that he did in S Tours. That's right.
That's you just confused. You just put two different things together.
Anyway, the tier that he's more familiar with. There, Monotype.
No, he plays a lot of OU. I don't know which he's more familiar with.
Well, for public records. Public records seeing that, yes. Meanwhile, Rafna lost in week 1, lost in week 3, lost in week 5, won in week 6. 1-3 record. Mono is mono, and this could go either way. I will say that I'm gonna go for Jojo to win. Sorry, Rafna.
You know, I don't know.
Pick one.
I think I'll go Rafna, though I'm probably a little biased.
You can place your bias picks here. What does pick say?
Pick Jojo Wee Rafna.
Okay, so you're trusting the AI on this one.
No, the AI trusts me.
God damn it. I'm supposed to be the IT guy, okay? Alright, so that's the end of that pointless matchup. Now it's the time for the matchups that actually decide things. The Goros versus the Stuffles. Stuffles need a big win so they can have a semblance of a chance for playoffs, while the Goros need the win to be able to make playoffs and hope the Laxus loses. Anyway, SVOU. We got Suzia versus TDNT. I don't think this happened yet, right?
I don't think so. Let's see.
It didn't happen. Thank God it didn't happen. We get to predict. You didn't get to predict a Suzia game. Finally, we get to predict an indoor game. Woo! Yeah, it's against TDNT though, so this one's actually very close. Both players have been doing pretty well, but also been pretty bad, and it's a tossy uppy series for both players here. So TDNT, no, actually TDNT is positive right now. It's 4-2, and our boys, the Suzuya man, 3-2. Pretty good records.
Both lost to Maverick.
Of course, you'd have to mention that they both lost to Maverick.
Of course I do.
You're evil. Anyway, or you're biased. Anyway, yeah. Who do we want to pick here?
I'm going TDNT personally.
You know what? I'll disagree here. I'll go Suzuya. I think Suzuya has a much more not consistent plays, but he does tend to outplay when the time is right and really gives him the peer pressure, and that forces him to play well. So I'll pick Suzuya to that.
Okay, we randomly picked Suzuya.
Alright. So the pick's on my side this time. Alright, next up, Beleth versus Street Boom in the other OU game. Congratulations, Street Boom. You're finally doing the thing. Finally in BLT.
Yep, he's getting his name on the board.
Well, Beleth has had an interesting BLT. He has played a bit, but he's currently negative 1-2. Only beating Starreal through ignominious means, while he lost to Enzo Nana and Ineffable. But I'd still say Beleth is the better of the two. Unfortunately, I don't see Street Boom winning this. So
me neither. Sorry, Beleth, you better not lose to Street Boom. Nice guy, bad player.
Ouch! Not bad. Don't be that hard. Don't be that blunt.
Didn't we put him in F tier?
We didn't have an F tier.
We put him in D tier at the very least then.
Yeah. Sorry, Street Boom, but we're left to win.
We randomly picked Street Boom.
Yeah, so yeah, you got the power of AI on your side. So there you go. Next up. Very intriguing matchup here. SV Ubers. This might decide the game if all things go well. Ainscrad versus FC. Ainscrad is 2-2. FC is 2-4. Negative FC.
Wait, what? He's 2-4?
2-4. Only beating Skyu and Terracotta. Lost to Ice Master. Lost to Layson. Lost to Richard. Lost to 7U.
Well, to be fair, the Ubers pool is stacked this year.
Yeah, it's a really good Ubers pool. But FC being the worst record of the two. Can you imagine that?
Worse than Ainscrad? What's Ainscrad's record?
He's neutral. He's 2-2.
Oh, well, that's,
beating Layson and Pote, lost to Ice Master and to 7U.
Well, okay, that's understandable then.
But, comparing these two, I still think FC is the better player, so I'll go with FC.
Yeah, I agree. I think this will be one FC wins.
Hopefully. Have a better record next year. He's on, soldier. So what does pick say?
The pick says, objection!
Oh, it's going for Ainscrad.
We randomly picked Ainscrad.
Wow. The power of Ainscrad is on... Well, actually, no. You can't spell Ainscrad without AI. SVUU, we got Jawabarat versus Hellray. We did mention before
Call me crazy, but,
We did mention before that Hellray can do the lower tiers very well, and he could be a potential Dragon Slayer if he can. He beat Rocher last week. So that gives him basically a good out. That basically gives him enough explanation to beat Jaw. So I can tell by the tone of your voice, but that you're going for Hellray, aren't you?
I actually am, yes.
Well, Hellray is on a tear. 3-0 right now. Beating Pote.
Whoa!
Beating Pote, beating Druid, beating Rocher. Not bad. Joarabot, he is 3-2. He's got a lot more experience in the UU pool. Lost to Rocher and Ziri, only beating Drew, Trogba, and Mimi Lucha.
And Piyush.
And Piyush. 4-2. So
that's actually not bad at all.
Yeah. So I'm picking Jaw. As much as I want to predict for Hellray, I would rather go with the traditionalist.
Not gonna lie, you're probably gonna be right on this one, but let's rumble, shall we?
He's making the rumbles. He is lossless right now. He is undefeated. So what does Pick say?
Pick says we randomly picked Let's Rumble, shall we?
Congratulations. Alright, SVRU, we got Fiend versus Toto. First time we're seeing Toto jump into the ring for the first time. Badged player, joined July 2019. However, Fiend's very experienced in RU, so don't see this one going too well for Toto.
I can tell who you're picking by that tone of voice.
It's Fiend. Fiend to win. I would rather have seen a switch up between the RU and NU pools here.
Did you really just say that when an RU and NU when there's literally been a switch up for RU and NU?
Oh. Oops. Well, let's do it then. What does Pick say first?
We randomly picked Fiend.
Okay. SVNU. Shengineer versus Ars9. Ars9 doing NU stuff. As we mentioned before, Ars9 kind of having a crap ton of unfortunate circumstances in BLT. Right now he is 2-4, same as FC. Shengineer though, very, very well in NU. A very underrated player in NU. Only lost to Skier Dude and Danny. Won against everyone else, like Stories, Acrotex, Team Charm, and
Wadley.
4-2, actually. Yeah, as much as I want to do Ars9, it's really hard to predict against Ars9, especially in the lower tiers, but I think I'm going Shengineer on this one.
Yeah. Look, this guy plays NU a lot. There's a reason Wadley, NU circuit champion, lost to him, you know.
Yeah. And with a great
multiple
matchup
times
too.
At that.
Great matchup too, last week, as we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shen to win. I'm picking Shen to win, and what does Pick say?
Pick agrees. No further questions, Your Honor.
It's very simple. SVPU, we got Fish and a Meter versus Sufis. Sufis is doing pretty well for himself, you gotta admit, in PU.
Yeah, I admit it, he is.
Even though he's neutral.
Even
though he's neutral right now, but he managed to beat TGA and Lost Memories in the past 2 weeks. He's doing pretty well for himself, carrying that momentum. However, yeah, you know, Fish is he's paired up against Fish and a Meter, who's been steadily becoming the best PU player in this pool. So yeah, Fish. I wonder what Pick.
And the pick says, however, I disagree.
This man's going for Sufis. He's truly a betting man. The betting bot. The betting pick.
Why do you keep calling it a man?
It's a man. It's a man. It's a guy in a suit.
No, Mikoi. It's a robot. It's non-binary.
Let me put your zeros and ones in your place. Next up, SVLC. Greedy versus Bleehee. Bleehee actually has a positive record, guys.
Quite positive, right?
4-2. Literally
Goodness.
flipped from Ars 9 and FC. Better record than even his own manager, Bleehee. Crazy. Meanwhile, Greedy has had a neutral record, going 2-2. Lost to Hacker, lost to Starzama, beating Quinn and Polo Ariosto in the past. I mean, my gut says Greedy, but I feel like I want to be the betting man. I think I'm going Bleehee.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I never thought that this would be the day, but I'm just not the most confident in Greedy being able to pick up this win, unfortunately. So,
I mean, I'm not super confident either, but I'm still predicting him.
fair enough, which is fair. Consistently, you would say he would be the better player, but I don't know. I feel like Bleehe's got some tricks up his sleeve.
Oh.
All right, what does Pick say?
We randomly picked Bleehe.
See, even Pick agrees. SVDOU, we got Keanu VGC versus Akaru Kokuyo. Yay! We get to see the VGC guy, Keanu.
Finally!
Yeah.
I've been waiting to see Keanu play.
Keanu is...
And, not against me.
Well, of course, we knew Keanu. He recently made A Regionals, and he made Top Cut in VGC. Doing pretty well for himself. And
in Indianapolis, yeah.
Yeah. Make yourself known in Worlds, Keanu. Hopeful. Let's root for you to make it into Worlds.
I don't think he has his invite yet, but he's very close, I hear.
Ooh, maybe we will see him in Worlds. Yay! I'm very excited.
I mean, I think, odds are he's going to Worlds, but whether we actually see him
in Worlds. Yeah, hopefully they can stream his games.
Odds are not high for literally seeing anyone.
Meanwhile, Akaru 1-5. 1-5.
Wow.
In BLT. Only one against Seraph Z. Lost everything else. Yeah. As much as we want to say, oh, Akaru's the better player here. No. Not this time.
No, I don't think he is.
No, not this time. I'm going Keanu.
Besides, another question. What is Penter's record?
Penter? You want to check Penter's record? Okay, Penter is 3-2.
Well, we can probably assume that Keanu's been supporting him.
Which is a good start. It's good.
And since he's, positive in a pretty stacked doubles pool, we can assume Keanu is partially to thank, so more reason to pick Keanu.
Yep, 100% agree. What does Pick say?
The pick also agrees that Keanu is better.
Yeah.
That Keanu is goated.
Yeah, sorry, Akaru, but yeah, I think reality is a strange beast. SV Monotype. My god, I love this matchup, and I know you do too. It's Azek versus Tenebrosite. Really fun.
Even though the unspoken rule of never...
Even though, yes, the unspoken rule is to never bet against Azek. He's 4-2 right now, and in the recent weeks haven't been kind to Azek.
However, right now, he needs to lock in.
He needs to be in. He needs to prove that no one truly bets against Azek. However, I will. I'll pick Tenebricide.
Whoa, the bias is
The
crazy.
bias is crazy because I believe in the Tenebricide. That is right. Bro, I believe he's 5-0, actually. Wait, really?
Huh?
Beat Siphicon, beat Rofna, beat King Leo, beat Royal Reloaded. Oh, 4-0. Excuse me. 4-0! 4-0 Tenebricide.
Oh, he's undefeated.
And I feel like the momentum is going to continue. Tenebricide to win.
Well, I'm picking ASIC, and the pick is 2.
I may be 1, but he's the undefeated Tenebricide. Alright. Well, okay, that's the end of that. The other matchup that will decide a lot is the Laxus versus the Lore Society. Laxus need this win, or a tie, or just generally be in a good position to, get the playoff spot. Because Laxus are good, and they need this. The Lores, they can meme all they want. They are memeing this lineup, but hey, it's all in good fun. SVOU, we got Tear Acid versus Ineffable. Well.
Well.
Are we high on Tear Acid this time?
I want to be, but at the same time, he might meme.
3-3 is the Tear Acid currently. Very, very neutral record. And his performances have been pretty neutral. And Ineffable is 3-1.
My.
Lost against SMB, but won against Aragon, won against Bleth, won against JJ. He's been quite the upset machine, Ineffable is. I feel like this will continue.
Yeah, perhaps we should actually predict Ineffable.
Yeah? The not being high on Tear Acid, I feel like that evidence is true. That's just how the way it is. Go for Ineffable.
Okay,
now is the pick
Ineffable.
Is the pick high on Tear Acid?
The pick is high on Tear Acid.
The pick is high on Tear Acid. That's crazy. SVOU, we got Mimikyu Stardust versus Yavi. Finally, finally making that appearance, Yavi 2. However,
yeah, too bad it's now.
Against the negative Mimikyu Stardust, who is currently 2-3. Lost to Thiago Nunes, lost to 3D, lost to Suzia, one against VK, and one against Career Ended. I'm high on Mimikyu Stardust, and he will win.
I am kind of neutral on Mimikyu Stardust, but I think he will win.
And what does Pick say about Mimikyu Stardust?
The pick is, we don't know the pick's feelings on Mimikyu Stardust, but the pick does think they will win.
Okay. SV Ubers, we got a pretty goated matchup in concept. Layson.
I feel like this could easily be the most, shitposty matchup ever.
Layson versus Ice Master. I can't wait to see the amount of shit that is going to be spewed in this game. Layson is 2-2. Ice Master is 5-1. Lost only to Richard, as you mentioned, but it's beaten everyone else.
Yep.
Will that momentum continue?
I think so.
I also think so. I think Ice Master is going to win.
Yep.
Sorry, Layson. Do we want to root for you? But what does Pick say?
Pick says Ice Master.
Pick's actually very smart. we got Mimi Lucha versus TMM. Another really good matchup.
Wasn't TMM subbed out, or,
was he?
No, it doesn't seem he was, but he said he wanted to be.
Oh, yeah. That's right. He said F Mimi. He wants to be subbed out.
Yeah, I'm going with Mimi Lucha because TMM is not motivated this week. He doesn't really want to play.
Meme TMM. I want you to meme. But yeah, I think I'll go with Mimi as well. Not just to save face.
Sorry, TMM. We know you're good, but you have actively expressed that you don't really want to play.
And I find that completely sad. What does Pick say?
Pick agrees. Pick agrees.
That's
Pick understands the facts and agrees with them.
Now don't. Now yes. Now don't leave a note that saying that you want to. Spoilers. SVRU.
Why would you say that? What I said had nothing to do with that.
That's I wanted to segue in. SVRU. We got Crying versus Danny. This was actually a really good matchup, and it's an RU too. Which Danny and Crying, both being lower tiers gods, they should be having a good little matchup here.
I don't know. Isn't Crying winless?
It beats Swordward's Barber. Are you friggin'?
Oh right, but wasn't Crying winless in lower tiers though?
Is he? That would be really unfortunate if it was. Yikes. Yeah, 1 and 2. Yikes. You beat Swordward's Barber.
Yeah, but that's not an accomplishment.
That's an accomplishment to me.
Well, you're weird.
Thank you. Like we haven't known that before. Danny is negative right now as well. 2-4 is not very good look for Danny. Beating Slip and Engineer, but lost to Wadley, lost to Atrotex, lost to Stories, lost to Tim. So he's been having quite the struggle in the NU pool, but I do believe that he... this is really hard. I'm gonna go Danny. You know what? I'm gonna go Danny.
I'm gonna go Crying.
Okay. Agree to disagree. What does Pick say?
Thing is, Crying kinda needs to, yeah, Crying needs to actually win here, so I expect there will be some effort. Well, even if Danny wins, it doesn't change what happens, their team's already out.
Yeah, the best they can do is, like, go for the pride, go for the pity points. Maybe shave off some wins from the Laxus to make them not qualify.
The pick says Danny.
Yeah. SVNU, we got Skier Dude versus Rillo BR. I wonder what's...
I don't know who that is. So, Skier Dude.
Skier Dude is neutral right now, currently 33. Has been, doing pretty decent for himself in BLT. And yes, I will pick Skier Dude to win.
Then we are all in agreement. There are no objections.
Even pick?
Yep, even pick.
SVPU, we got Druid versus Eternal Ocean. Now you gotta admit, Eternal Ocean has been doing very well for himself in PU. 4-1.
That's really good.
He's only lost to Fish, but he's beaten TGA, he's beaten Sufis, he's beaten Blood Ace, and he's beaten the Big Tony. So he's done really well for himself. Druid, of course, another really good PU player. And he has been secretly being a whole machine here. Having a 5-1 record. Only losing to Hellrain in week 4. So this one's tough. Actually, this one is very unpredictable. This might decide the series between the Laxus and the Lures.
I'm going Druid.
I'm gonna be the betting man. I'm going Eternal Ocean.
Whoa, that's wild.
Yeah. Betting man, you can't out betting man me pick. What do you pick?
Well, I guess it really can't if you're already being the betting man.
Will it be safe or will it join me in this betting
Says
man?
Druid.
It's being safe. The one time I wanted to be the betting man, and yet this this AI just cowards out, just chickens out, goes for the safe option. SVLC, we got Hacker versus Ampha. I really don't see Ampha winning. Do you?
Nope.
Hacker to win. Hacker has been doing quite okay for himself, being 3-2. So, I think this should be a Hacker win.
I agree.
SV... Oh, no. Pick.
Wait, we didn't hear what the pick has to say.
Friggin' pick. What do you pick?
He picks Hacker. Or it picks Hacker, I guess.
It is a hacker. Well, it is a hacker. It's a computer. Duh, so we need a hacker to work. SVDOU. We got the Atago who wants to be sat on versus a certain scientific railgun.
Oh, that's a good one, actually.
I want to watch that anime. Anyway, yeah. So who are we picking here between Luis and Cheese? Cheese is currently 2-2. Having a neutral record, beating Penter and Akaru, lost to Loudwinner and lost to Exotic. Railgun 3-3. Both have neutral records. Well, considering the fact that they friggin', got the act win over Diego Nunes.
Yeah, so it's more like 2-3.
Well, you're picking Pokeart.
Call me betting woman, but I'm craving a bit of cheese.
Well, time to pull off my magical index, my certain magical index, and I will go for the certainly scientific railgun.
See, I know cheese, and I think cheese can do it when it counts.
Oh, and yes, this is a game that matters for cheese, so you better pull off all the anime plot armor that he can muster.
See, I didn't think he'd beat Exotic for some certain reasons last week, because I didn't feel his strategies would work on Exotic. But they'll probably work on Railgun.
Okay. Which would be interesting.
Besides, Railgun's really underperformed.
Despite being... despite he got some good wins.
Yeah, but wasn't he like the most expensive doubles player?
20K. I guess you're right. I think you're right, actually.
20K for someone who's negative in the tier is very much underperforming.
Ask that one about Ars9.
That too, yeah. He is, well, I guess he was a manager, so,
I'm sorry, the slander is real. Anyway, yeah, I'm picking Railgun, you're picking Atago. Who's the pick say?
Let's see. The pick agrees with me.
Oh, it's going for the cheese. It's going for the cheese lore. Alright, last one. Monotype, Lechen versus Trogba. Trogba and Mono. Should be interesting. Lechen.
I think Trogba's probably just better.
Yeah, I don't think Lechen has the skills here. Despite, we have seen Lechen do well in Torch Plaza. But this ain't Torch Plaza, so...
So, Trogba? Okay, the pick agrees.
What is Trogba's record?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know that he's currently 2-3? Okay. Alright, finally. The these frickers. The Flame Slinger Skeleturges versus the Resort City Rufflets, where 3 games from your series have been played. Wow. You guys are on a
all
hype
on
train.
Monday too.
You guys are on a hype train. So, first off, we got Avarice versus King Leo in OU. Bold choice to put Leo in OU. Really bold choice. But he hasn't played. He has played. But it is still a pretty bold choice to put him in OU.
I gotta say, of all weeks, I am glad we are facing Avarice in a week that doesn't matter. Because he is really hard to scout.
And he's very, very good to he's very, very good. He's a very tough opponent to battle against. So yeah.
I just mean he's really hard to scout because he has a billion alts.
Oh yeah, that's right. But I will still say I'll pick Avarice. I'm sorry, Leo.
That's understandable. Leo has only played once, and it was to summon for mono.
What does Pick say?
Let me see. Avarice, King Leo V. King Leo V!
King Leo V. Alright.
I must say, looking at what the pick has picked for the games that happened already, it seems to really like my team more.
Okay. Yeah. Next up, we got Exotic versus VK, which happened at VK1. Really funny game. One of the
best game of the whole tour.
It's one of the funniest games you'll ever see, and we're going to review that next week along with the other games that have already been played. So yeah, I went with Exotic because the guy has been quite the surprise player this year. He's been pulling off some good wins. The guy has pulled off some good wins and is currently 4-3. He is positive. So, but still, really funny game. Highly recommend you check it out. And
the pick said VK, so the pick got one over you.
Shit. SV Ubers, Sky U versus Frozoid. Well,
what's with that noise?
It's the beauty of mouth sounds. That sound like a chameleon. Frozoid. We've seen Frozoid play Ubers a lot, but Skyu has been legitimately impressive in Ubers, and I really like the way that he plays. So, fortunately, Rufflets, I have to pick the Dirges on this one. I'm going Skyu.
Okay, we randomly picked Frozoid.
He is negative though, Skyu 2 or 3, but we'll pull it off.
The pick really likes the Rufflets.
Biased. SV.
First 3 games predicted the Rufflets.
SVUU. Will it happen again here with SVUU? We got Just Drew versus Yippee. And let me highlight now that, Piyush said, I used to pray for times like this. And, where is that? No, okay. But yeah, the Rufflets did mention that they pulled up a log that said Yippee sole goal in BLT was to beat Just Drew in UU.
Yeah, that is actually true. He has mentioned it quite an abundance of times in our server that he wants to face and beat Drew.
Will it happen?
Let me face Drew. Let me beat Drew.
We'll see what happens. I am picking Just Drew to win because I don't think amount of Yippee godness will be enough to beat the consistency that Drew has been on. But, things have gotten stranger before, so...
They might actually play, kind of soon.
Soon? Will it be enough to?
I don't know if they're playing today, but like I think they may play tomorrow, my time.
Okay. What does Pick say? Is Pick going for the best player of this tour?
Nope, Pick says just Drew.
Ah. Sorry, Yippee. You don't get our support this time. But you did get them. You did get the mileage of support from the Rufflets, so they're your god. No, you're their god. You're their god. SVRU got Fellyburn versus Lime, and Fellyburn won.
Yeah, that already happened, but the pick said Lime anyway.
And I picked Fellyburn because I believed in the power of the burning Fellies. That sounds
whatever
weird.
That means.
Whatever that means. This is a really weird tangent. Let's move on now to SVNU, where we get Actratix versus Wadley. An interesting matchup on paper. Actratix is currently 4-2. Wadley is neutral at 3-3. Very, very good crop of opponents, and you know, the guys have proven that they have gotten what it takes to beat certain players in NU, but they've also gotten really bad luck in NU as well. So this tour has been kind of up and downy for both of them, but Actratix got the better end of the deal by having the better record. Do I dare pick against the NU circuit champion? I think I might have.
Do you?
I think I might have.
Do you dare?
I think I'm.
Will you really?
I think I'm going Actratix. I think I'm gonna pick Actratix to win on this one. It might seem blasphemous. It does feel a little bit blasphemous.
It does feel blasphemous. In fact, I'm tempted to raise an objection.
But no, I'm slamming my desk down. I am the defense. The defense has an argument, and it makes a valid point and says Actratix will win. No objections needed.
Wow, you're the defense and the judge. How totally unbiased.
Yes, prosecutor Pokeart. Sir Pokeart. Next up. Oh yeah, what does Pick say?
Pick also says Actratix.
Ha.
It agrees with your blasphemy.
Maybe Pick is the secret judge this entire time. Alright, next up, SVPU. We got Taking Notes Kinda versus Richard Millie playing.
Yeah, don't ask me about this.
I am heavily judging this. As we all know, Richard is currently the best player in this in the Ubers pool, having a 6-0 record. The only 6-0 person in BLT right now. Are you trying to ruin his perfect record?
I'm hoping he dead games. Not gonna lie, because this is just cruel.
I am going for Richard.
He did not want to play this tier. We literally said "frick you" and put him in this slot. We really just put him in any tier that isn't mono because we knew how much he wants to play it. This is honestly just cruel and unusual punishment.
This is your punishment for winning Ubers every time. But you know what? Bring Calyrex over to PU and then you'll win. So I am still picking Richard to win.
Well. Hear me out.
Oh no. Don't tell me.
Blastrier is usable in PU.
He's gonna abuse Glacial Lance? Okay. Yeah. Go for 7-0. Go for 7-0 Richard. And it's in PU of all things. Richard to win.
So, you're predicting Richard. Okay.
I am predicting Richard.
Okay.
He will go 7-0. He will go 7-0. Trust.
The bot says taking notes, kinda.
Oh, the bot is wrong. The bot is wrong.
Or, well, the pic says it. I guess saying bot is not entirely accurate since it's just a command.
It's a guy in a suit. All right.
No, it's not.
SVLC, we got Tempo de Anguria versus whoever this sub is. Who is this man?
I don't know, to be honest. Seems kind of familiar, not gonna lie.
Poker 2004 plays LC, guys.
Yeah, that was actually one of my best tiers in quals.
And you know what? I haven't seen Tempo did play a couple of weeks in the first two, and we all thought that he had potential, but I kind of fizzled out. The more he kind of plays, the more I feel like his playstyle has gotten downward over the weeks. So yeah, I am going with Pokeart. This may be biased, but I'm going Pokeart to win.
I've actually faced him quite a few times during quals, so this isn't entirely a bad pick, even if you are biased.
I still
Besides, I plan on asking him for when we schedule if he wants to play for real or if he wants to have some fun.
Ooh, well, hopefully the time is good enough so I can catch it live.
Yeah, I want to have fun, but I'm gonna ask him first.
Okay. Meme away, Pokeart. And what does Pick say?
Pick says Tempo. Thanks.
SVDOU, we got Seraph Z versus Sundays, and Sundays won. And you know what? I was
on like 40 hours of no sleep too.
Jesus Christ. Well, that's tame because I've stacked tours for 72 straight hours, and it rewarded me with.
That is not a flex.
Yeah, that is not a flex because my literal reward for that is a trip to the hospital. So.
Yeah, that's not a flex at all. Why would you do that?
Because I wanted to flex. Alright, so yeah. Sundays won. I was being a betting man, and I was actually going with Sundays to win on this one. Because I feel like the game against Akira really solidified my choice in the matter. So, yeah.
I gotta say, Sundays and Loud winner. They didn't have a lot of time to cook, but they cooked with the time they had.
And what a cook it does. It was a really good team. So, yeah. Well, we'll elaborate more that next week, but yeah. Monetize.
The pick said Oblivion Wing, though.
Wrong.
Silly pick.
And wrong. SB Monotype. Twinkie versus Meme Dose. Will Meme Dose pull off the upset once again? Beat Ampa before, but now he's facing Monotype and he's facing Twinkie.
He's in his actual tier now.
That's right. Meme Dose does play Monotype, and it does Monotype to an average degree. Twinkie is Twinkie, though. I'm picking Twinkie.
Well, then. I think you are underestimating Meme Dose by saying average, but Twinkie's been doing good, so this is understandable.
Yeah, Twinkie is currently in a 3-3 neutral record, so. And what does Pick say?
Pick says Meme Dose.
Oh, the rough let's buy it is real. The rough let's buy it is real. Alright. That is the end of the BLT Week 7 predicts. Thank you all so much for watching. Next week we will cover Week 7 recap and playoffs predicts. Woo!
Woo!
Alright, so thank you all for watching. Please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you won't miss the videos when they come out. See ya next week.
Adios.
This has been Migoy, signing out.
Oh, I guess now I say it. Adios.